Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 255. Got a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight. We're only missing a few people. Click is has some things going on, and Nate might just randomly pop in. We don't know. He just sort of drops in midway through now, so we'll see if he stops by. But did get some people together here. We have MVG, fresh off the Switch eShop release.
Yep. Yeah,
I downloaded it.
Girls.
I played it. Didn't explode immediately, so I'm pretty happy. Now it's a fun game. It's a good game. It's a classic.
Yeah, it's I guess it's the origin story of the River City Girls. I guess technically it's not a River City Girls game, but it's really cool that
I like the cutscenes they got going on there too. It's fun.
Yeah, man. Way Forward did a really good job with that stuff, and they really put 110% effort into it. So if you haven't checked it out, check out River City Girls Zero. It's on the eShop. It's coming soon. I don't know when yet, but it's coming soon to PlayStation 5, PS4, and PC, I believe, as well. So yeah, check it out.
You making it happen. Another entry in the credits for a game. So.
River City Girls is awesome. It's a really good beat 'em up.
What does he know about video games? I listen to Twitter experts. Thank you very much.
You're pretty busy over there, MVG.
Yeah, man.
How many games you ship now?
This is my fourth, and I want to say there is at least 3 more coming this year, which I obviously can't talk about yet. But
wow.
there's more coming. So
okay, wow.
Yep.
MVG busy over there. Very good.
We're really busy.
Let's see. We have. We have.
Read it now.
Go ahead, John. Read it out.
X-Trash lost to PlayStation. MVG's game got 70 on Metacritic. Trash game.
That actually made my day. So thank you for that super chat.
We did Power Slave too, right?
Yeah. Power Slave is another game, but I will say that I was only involved, but mainly on the PlayStation port for that version. So
I want to check that out.
That's a really good game. Check that out. Yep.
We got RGT85. How we doing?
Hello.
Good to have Sean on.
Good to be
here. How the Knicks doing?
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. But
actually, I haven't looked into it. I wasn't sure.
I've been like literally the past 2 games. Okay, so the past 3 games we blew 20+ point leads, and then like I want to play devastating.
Give a little bit more detail on that 20-point lead that you guys blew. Give a little bit more detail on what happened.
I can tell you exactly what happened. The coach
against the Nets. They lost. They had no KD.
Yes, because the coach is a fucking idiot. He runs his players to the ground. And like
nobody, and they still got the ass whooped.
And you look at the fourth quarter. If you look at the fourth quarter, that's when everything falls apart because they're exhausted. But Obi Toppin is in the dunk contest tonight, so I'm watching the All-Star shit on the second screen.
Okay, very good. We got OJ Players. How we doing, OJ?
I'm good, man. My Bulls out here. Did you guys see the record that DeMar DeRozan broke from Wilt Chamberlain?
How you live in
7+
California,
games, 35 points or more, over 50 or what was it, over 60% shooting or 50% shooting. If you break anything from Wilt Chamberlain, that guy's numbers are incredible. So if you break anything that he has any offensive numbers, it's a good thing. So the Bulls are doing good, so
especially his women numbers. That's the real.
Nobody's breaking his women. He's like, oh my god, nobody's breaking his women numbers. That's impossible because you'll be dead or something. You'll be dead with some disease before you can even finish your life.
We got Max, Dreamcast guy. How we doing, Max?
Hello. Very happy. Horizon Week. I'm about to get the platinum, actually. Real quick, I know a lot of the people who watch the show do follow me on Twitter. If you don't, go follow me. I'm actually giving away a copy of Horizon Forbidden West. For those who don't know, it's just a normal one. Basically, you'll just automatically do it. Click a link. It's on my top tweet right now. It's a PlayStation 4 copy I'm going to mail you. And then if you put it in your PlayStation 5, it becomes a PlayStation 5 copy. So it's all good.
Okay. Very good. And then we got Evan.
Yep.
Completely into Lost Ark right now.
105 hours.
105 hours. So there you go. Apparently Lost Ark is a good free-to-play game.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty fun.
it has like a cash shop and all this, I assume, right?
Of course,
Like
it's got to keep the lights on. You know.
Do you feel the need to use that cash shop?
Not often. No, not really.
No. Does that have like experience boosters in there? Like this will make you level up faster, kind of thing.
I mean, it's designed. The game itself is designed to get to at least level 50. It's not the highest level, but it's the kind of the first major one for content within like a couple days, regardless. Anyway,
That take a long time to get to.
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
Then they hand you a thing to make another person level 50 instantly. So,
and people love this game. It's blowing up on Steam. I think the system requirements are low too, so you don't need like a nice PC necessarily to play it or anything.
You will need about 70 gigs, I think, or a little over of hard drive space. It's a big world. It's
70 doesn't seem bad for an MMO, considering even with World of Warcraft a long time ago you needed a ton of space. So I don't know, for an MMO it's not bad.
It's smaller than Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I deleted that albatross off my computer. That's like 100 gigabytes.
Oh,
I said I'm good. I said what the hell? No.
And there's a part in Lost Ark that's basically Midgar, so you can play that one for less. You know.
I mean, it's like it's set up like a Diablo, so that looks kind of fun. I mean, free to play. Yeah, you can just download it, see if you like it, and if not, you just delete it, get it out of here. So, we have some stuff to go over. We're talking about Nintendo shutting down the Wii U or 3DS, or at least announcing the shutdown for them. Horizon Forbidden West, both some of our thoughts and impressions on the game for those of us who played it, and then also that odd like controversy that started up when the Metacritic score came out. Which it probably gets in the whole conversation around review scores in general and where we are with them. And then Capcom is set for a big reveal on Monday, and it sounds like we may be seeing Street Fighter again.
Are we though?
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. We'll talk about that too.
Jeff's in the chat, so you know he's the man.
Interesting. Gonna be interesting. All right, let's go to a Discord question first, Evan. What we got?
This one's for MVG. Are 2D HD games more easy to make than 3D ones and take less time to develop for the most part?
Oh, I don't know if I don't know how to answer that because I haven't worked on a 2D HD. Based on what I think would go into a 2D HD game, I think there'd be a lot of work. But I would probably say it would still be less than a 3D game. But generally speaking, I don't know, man. Like, I think a 2D HD game would still need a lot of hours of work to get a game running with that engine.
Okay, like the one that Square's using right now.
Yeah, for Live Alive and stuff like that. To me, it just feels like there's quite a bit of work involved to do that.
Okay, very good. You got another one, Evan?
If Mario Kart Tour is Mario Kart 9, then what does that make Mario Kart Live Home Circuit?
Garbage.
That's a good question, because that actually takes place outside of the video game as well, because you're technically driving around with it. So,
but you need a video game console to play it
and a cartridge.
I think it's Mario Kart 10.
You think it's Mario? You think that one's 10?
Why not?
Didn't Tour came out first though?
Right. So Tour would be 9.
So then we go to that. Then we go to Live as 10, and then we have 11 coming up, right?
Yeah. It's Crossroads.
Like 10 years, yeah.
Crossroads.
If they come out and the trailer says Mario Kart 11, the whole internet will be so confused.
Almost positive they're going to call it Mario Kart something. They're not. Yeah, they're going to number it.
Mario Kart
it's
World.
Just going to be. It's going to be something that just goes on, like you said. Yeah, Mario Kart World. It's something like that, right? That just Mario Kart Ultimate, like that kind of.
Yeah, because it was weird. It was weird that they even started numbering it in the first place. They didn't start till Mario Kart. Until 7 on the 3DS.
And 7 looked weird. That logo, the 7 looked photoshopped on.
That's a good point. Do you want to start with Horizon actually, Max?
Yeah.
Since you beat it, you played all the way through. You did a whole review on it. Definitely, people should be checking that out so they get an idea of the game. I did like a very early of it. What I'm doing now is I basically just like give my thoughts on the first 2 hours of a game, because I think we're to the point now where so many games come out. A game I think has to like grab you in the first 2 hours now, or it's going to get lost, especially with subscription services and stuff. So those are like my immediate reactions to the game. But after that, I have played it for another 3 to 4 hours. So I am somewhere between 5 and 6 hours into the game right now since picking it up yesterday.
I'm almost 50 hours into the game now.
Okay, so you're about 50. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to get out of this game, 50 to 60 hours. But Zero Dawn, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And this, to me, feels like more Zero Dawn, but much more refined. And I think set up to pull you along through the open world better.
Oh yeah. Well, I think one of the most interesting parts of this, which I did not put in my review, and I feel like I didn't see any reviewers talking about this, the main story takes you to a couple of the towns, but once the game is done, there are cities all over the place that have all sorts of hunting trials, melee battle pits that unlock extra stuff, customization tables. Like this game, and a lot of this isn't even connected to trophies. This is one of those games that if you want, you could play hundreds of hours, but you could also just, do what you want and leave. I feel like it's what I want all open world games to be, which is not a checklist. It's a lot of things to do, but it's not a checklist.
They do have like a board game thing, like how we have those occasional games like in a bigger game, that you can technically spend time playing through. Like Final Fantasy VIII had like kind of its card game sort of and all that. That's what I'm getting here with Horizon, is that on its own looks like it would be an entire thing to do, 10 20 hours something just into that. But as I'm playing through this game, one, visually it is probably the most impressive game I've seen so far. Like this actually feels like, when you look at it, it's like, all right, this is a next gen game. But that's kind of where I have a bit of a problem here, Max, because there's two different modes. There's performance and there's resolution mode. Resolution mode, I am struggling with. Like I'm having a hard time playing under that. But then performance mode, there's something wrong with both versions of it. Isn't
quality mode 4K 30?
Yes, but it feels like you're underwater. Like it's hard to describe, because we played through Horizon Zero Dawn at 30 frames per second. And I don't remember getting that feeling like I am now with this. Like it feels slow. It's hard to describe. Like if you just try it, you'd understand what I'm saying, but it feels like you're just in goo the entire time you're playing and trying to walk through. But then you go to performance mode, and I feel like they just turn it like anti-aliasing off. So everything just shimmers when you're looking around. It's very noticeable and distracting.
It feels like water does not know how to work when it bumps up the frame rate for some reason. Like I think the water effects, if you play it in the 4K mode, it looks photorealistic. I literally recorded about 10 minutes of footage on the beach because it looks just like a beach. And then you put it in 60 frames a second mode, and it looks a little bit funky.
Yeah,
John, are you basically saying that, I don't want to say this because people are going to take this wrong way, but are you saying that like it's kind of the PS4 version is holding this version back a little bit, the PS5 version?
I did wonder that as I was moving like the slide around trying to figure out, I'm just going to go performance mode and just deal with the shimmer and stuff that I see. Yeah. But I do wonder if they just were like, this is a PS5 game. We're not going to try to figure out how to make it work on other configurations like a PS4 Pro, the base PS4. I mean, maybe if they had more time to optimize what you're saying, because I feel like through patches over the next several months, they're probably going to figure it out. Like because we've had modes introduced for Spider-Man where they had like a performance and a resolution, but then they had like a performance ray tracing mode. And I think they're going to figure something out with that, and it'll get better over the next couple months. So kind of, I think if there was no PS4 version and they had more time to optimize the PS5 version, I don't know if we'd necessarily be dealing with this immediately after launch.
It feels a little bit weird because what I did is I bought 2 copies of the game, and I was playing it both. I have a PlayStation 4 Pro, and I played it on my PlayStation 5. And I feel like, the versions feel very close. It feels like they maybe built the whole PlayStation 4 version first and then figured out like, all right, how can we just improve the graphics later? Like, because I like it. It looks great. But definitely at times, especially fire effects and stuff, we're like, this is still the same graphics we've had for 6 years.
It's just, you notice the 60 frames per second. So I'm just sticking with that and hoping that over the next couple of weeks they have a patch or something put out. But to be honest, I might already be done the game and on to like Elden Ring or something by then. But the game itself, I think, does a much better job rewarding you immediately. And the side quests are actually interesting. Like it's rewarding for the side quests because you get things that are very useful to you. But the stories that they have for their side quests are much higher quality than I was expecting, I think. To where they have like legitimate like conflict and storylines that surprise you when you're going through them at times. But the skill tree is like 3 times larger than Horizon Zero Dawn's, and you are
6 skill trees. It's nuts.
You are constantly leveling up, and you're constantly getting skill points. So I
like that they give you, for every side quest you finish, they give you multiple skill trees, skill points as well. So I kind of like. it's like if you're leveling up, you're getting points. But I like that you're rewarded. Like if you really want to max out your skills and get your ultimate abilities called Valor, like it's cool that do a couple side quests and you get infinitely stronger.
Yep. So I'm having a blast with this so far. I haven't. The thing with these open world games is typically I'd have to get 15 or 20 hours in to see if I get that open world fatigue kicking in. That's about where it happens, right? 15, 20 hours. I'm going to be curious to see if it kicks in here because they are pulling you along through the main story if you want to. So like if you just want to go, you can. You feel pretty powerful immediately. Like I feel stronger than all the machines I'm fighting right now. You're ripping like their gear off and all of this. And they did introduce like the large snake in the tutorial. So like in the first hour or so, you do see very large creatures. So I'm curious as I go through if I'll see more larger bosses. I assume I am because they showed off like the big mammoth and stuff.
Well,
so
I mean, that sounds like a good thing though, because within the first hour, you do need to show off the large snake.
It's true. Yeah. Some people call it the 50-50 tactic of game design. It's very good.
I couldn't help myself.
Keeping it classy.
I'm getting a kick out of the game though. It does. It's a good reason for you to plug your PS5 back in, Sean.
Well, mine comes tomorrow, so I'll be getting it.
Coming out of the finally taking it, unboxing it, unpacking
I know where it is. I know where it is.
Unpack it. Is that it's finally getting unpacked. You packed it up to move, and now it's finally coming back out of the box.
I haven't. What? I wasn't interested in Deathloop, so.
Deathloop is actually good though. I like Deathloop.
Yeah, it's like 10 or $15. Maybe I'll check it out.
Okay. I think you're gonna like it. It does have feelings of like one of the side quests I did was in a mine, for example, early on. Felt kind of like Tomb Raider there. But then I do one where you're moving crates around and solving puzzles in like a ruin that they have, and it starts feeling kind of like Zelda. So they have elements from all these different types of games kind of thrown in there. So I'm having a blast with it. I need more time, 5 or 6 hours, but I think it's good.
I know it's early, but is it in the conversation for Game of the Year, you think?
Well,
I know it's early. I mean, Elden Ring's coming. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming this year.
This year is so packed. Yeah. That's the thing. But that kind of brings up the idea of the Metacritic score, right? Because when this game, the embargo lifted, there's a lot of conversation around the Metacritic score for this one, which is interesting because it's a good Metacritic score. But people were shocked that it wasn't like 92 or 93 or something. And it got to the point where it was like, is this game actually good? Because it was an 89. And I'm thinking, ridiculous. It's an 89. That's a really good score.
It went down 1 point now it's at 88. But
that's just
like
Twitter bullshit.
88's still a good score.
Yeah, 88, and that would still put it in the Game of the Year discussion.
It was on so many. It wasn't even on like 40 reviews. It was on a lot of reviews. Let me see if I can pull it up.
It's at 108
reviews. And that's just on that's just on the PS5. It's also on the PS4 where there's just one person who reviewed it apparently on the PS4.
Sony gave out, I think they gave out review copies for like people said play it on the PS5. They wanted people to review it on the PS5, not the PS4.
But like it's 100 positive, 6 mixed, no negative. 0 negative. So it's like that's a really good review split.
How many perfect scores did it get?
Quite a few.
That's a good question. I think it actually had a decent amount. I think it was like 5 or 10% perfect. Which I mean, for a game, that's pretty good.
I liked it. I want to say I don't think this is going to be in the Game of the Year conversation. It's fun. I gave it a 9 out of 10 in my review. Obviously, I'm still playing it, but I feel like it doesn't quite have that like. I think there's an emotional punch of the games that win Game of the Year. We'll see what happens with God of War Ragnarok. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 perfect reviews. So
cool. It'll be in the discussion.
Here's the interesting thing about that though. I feel like this game itself, you're right, Max, might be left off a bit because it does feel so similar to Horizon Zero Dawn. It feels like more Horizon Zero Dawn, which isn't a bad thing because if you like the story and all this behind it, it's great. I'm almost wondering if God of War is going to suffer from that a little bit. It's not going to have the same impact when God of War was first shown off, first came out. It was a different look Kratos. It's going to be more of that God of War.
Yeah, but people like God of War more. God of War has the clout.
But Horizon Forbidden West didn't score higher than Zero Dawn, so I wonder if God of War is going to score lower.
But even if God of War scores lower, it's still going to be pretty high.
Yeah, it's still going to be high.
Yeah,
I would
it's still
expect
gonna
it to
be
be,
higher.
yeah.
But people
So
are
it's-
already
I mean,
starting. People are already
90s,
starting
right?
that conversation on Twitter, like by posting the pictures of similar things and kind of going back
Yeah,
and
it'll
forth.
be a little bit. It'll be a little bit lower, but it will still because you can't redo everything. You can't completely remake the magic. I think Breath of the Wild's gonna have maybe some situations of that, some instances of that. I think when you make another game and like use the same stuff, it's gonna get some of that.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be shocked if Breath of the Wild 2 ends up scoring below Breath of the Wild just because it could lose that. I mean, that was such a drastic change for Legend
You
of
have
Zelda, so
you have different reviewers.
That too.
It has been
Yep.
5 years, so you have different people playing the games and stuff. So and like
Yep.
the standards maybe has changed a bit. I mean, there's
I also, and I want to throw this out, it feels like shorter games are getting higher review scores. It seems like the stuff that wins Game of the Year the last couple of years has
You
been
think- you
15
think we're
hours
getting-
experiences.
you think the open world stuff is just starting to wear on people where you're like,
Yeah.
you got to review this and it's going to take you 50 hours. And you're just like,
Well.
at the end, you're like, I don't even feel like writing the review for this thing now.
Well, and additionally, even think about how weird it is the fact that this is an open world game where you don't have to do everything for the platinum. It feels like
Right.
even the game developers are getting to a point where, like, yeah, just do a couple of the side quests so you're good. You're fine.
I wonder, how's the platinum look for Horizon? Because the
It's
one
very
Dying
easy.
Light, I was looking at the achievements for Dying Light. There's something you just miss in Dying Light 2. And I was like,
You
what is
can't.
this?
The only missable trophy is how you scan people. You have to scan every robot in the game, and some of the quests there's only like a one time you see one super boss. The platinum is a joke. I'm gonna get it because it's just so easy. It's literally
okay.
do a couple of those like rebel forts. Do a couple of those. Like it's really easy. But
Okay.
I mean, it seems fun.
We also have to remember that Game of the Year doesn't really matter anyways.
But it's fun to talk about.
Oh yeah, Zelda one's all about, yeah.
I guess it
Absolutely.
matters for the developers because obviously if you get Game of the Year, you get more sales and get
Yeah.
more clout. You get natural marketing, kind of like how some games like Metroid Dread got natural marketing, kind of helped out a little bit, with the sales and everything.
Also,
Well, it
let's
hit 3 million though. That was
let's
kinda
be
weird.
let's be real. If we're gonna see another Horizon release, like they're gonna do some complete edition or something, and they'd probably love to put a Game of the Year edition out for it instead.
Yep.
Something like that. So like that they take advantage of that too.
Some devs make Game of the Year dishes like, hold on, who voted for Game of the Year for that
Right.
game? Borderlands Game of the Year, just like nobody voted for Borderlands for Game of the Year.
Jordan
What?
did.
Jordan did.
Oh, okay, Jordan.
So let me ask you this: we just had the whole thing around Horizon's review score for Metacritic, right? That just happened. It was very, very loud online on Monday for that when that dropped. Is Elden Ring's embargo a bigger deal when that Metacritic score comes out? You think that causes more noise?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Elden,
Okay.
Elden Ring's bigger than Horizon because it's multi-platform and it's just that franchise has exploded. People are excited because it's something new for the franchise. It's new. They're
Here's
doing the open.
Here's the big question: Elden Ring, does it score higher or lower than Forbidden West? It's at
Much-
88 now, so
much
higher or
higher.
lower than 88?
Higher.
Much
I'm actually gonna buy. I don't buy Souls games. I'm buying Elden Ring. I might suck at it. I'm gonna buy Elden Ring. So
Say lower.
Much easier. You got
I
it.
think Elden Ring is going to. I think it's gonna be lower.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be like
No way.
85.
It's an 85.
you
It's an
must have
85.
inside information on the game. People playing the game.
I think it's gonna be a little.
He
I
knows.
don't-
Okay, John knows people playing the game. You guys, you have to know people playing the game. That's the only way that you say.
Oh,
I
what
think it's
are you
gonna
talking
be lower.
No, I
What are you
think
talking
I think for me, like I don't know jack about like who's playing the game, but I think it's an 85 because it's a Souls game. Like there's going to be people that are going to be like, this game's too fucking hard. I can't get my head around it, and they're gonna like score it a little lower than
They made
than
it.
normal.
They made it easier. Did you
It's
hear
way
that?
easier.
It's
Yeah,
way.
it's
It's
way
easier.
I still
Yeah.
think I'm seeing. I think it'll be like an 85.
Then-
I completely.
Then you'll
I
get the
think
people who expect it to be hard to be like, it's not hard enough. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I have concerns
Jeez.
around the
Okay,
open
hold up,
world
hold up.
aspect.
Bloodborne is 92, and
that one's
game's
considered the
pretty good.
easy. That one's considered the
What's-
easiest. I thought of their releases.
what's Sekiro?
But that also was an
Sekiro's
exclusive.
nine
too, right?
89, 90.
That was an exclusive. That was also towards the beginning.
Okay,
of
Sekiro's
PlayStation 4.
a 90. Sekiro's a 90.
Sekiro.
Sekiro.
I don't know what it is.
No, I
It's
just,
gonna be
I just
interesting.
have a gut feeling.
We're gonna
think-
find out pretty soon, I think. Right? When's the embargo on that lift? I feel like it's pretty
Wednesday
soon.
morning.
Wednesday morning. there you go.
yeah.
Dark Souls 3 is an 89.
This is gonna be interesting.
I
So
think
Dark-
it's gonna be.
You gotta
I'm
remember,
biased.
I mean,
love it, dude.
Video
I
game
love this.
scores, what reviewers look for in games changes all the time. Like if you could go back to, why was Ocarina of Time the highest rated Metacritic game of all time? When there's people that like other Zelda games more so. You know what I'm saying? I think it's really just like what the general audience is looking for.
You said Ocarina of Time?
At the time.
Yeah, people were just blinded by 3D. That's
on the N64.
People were just blinded by 3D.
Yep.
The worst console, yeah.
People were either blinded by 3D or the 10 frames per second.
I think that
10 frames a second.
Ocarina of Time. I mean, it was the combat. It was like the Z targeting. You'd never played anything like it.
Impressive, yeah.
It was
That
so
game's
impressive.
The best, by far, the best Zelda N64 game.
No, Majora's Mask is better.
Majora's Mask is better.
No, it's not.
No.
I think the story is way better in Ocarina, but man, I love the art in Majora's
Did that shit
Mask.
come in a gold fucking box?
It did if you were
That's
pimping
what
them.
makes it better. A gold box.
Yeah.
Yes, I have it right up there.
This man rating packaging in 2022.
I mean, you know what? That would be a disappointment to get back on Elden. That would be a big disappointment. For an 85, when the last 3 ones have been 80,
Is
we're
that
talking
though?
92, 89.
Dude, I'm not even
90.
joking. I think it's going to be like a 95. I'm not even
Gee,
joking.
whoa.
Cap it.
Whoa,
Yeah.
95?
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Okay, I'm not going that high. I'm going like
I
That's-
played Elden Ring, baby. That game is good.
I'm
That's
going
Metroid.
90. I'm going 90.
95 is Metroid Prime numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
For what?
And it's the Prime
Metacritic.
Souls, baby.
For Elden Ring. I'm gonna go 80. I'm gonna go 87 for Metacritic.
Okay.
It's gonna go right 1 point below Horizon.
Oh, Metroid Prime, that's a 97. So
Metroid, yeah.
Well, I mean, it
yeah.
took the Metroid franchise, put it in a completely different direction. It was arguably the best looking game available on consoles at that time. It had a lot going for it. It had a lot of innovation at that time. Whereas Elden Ring, does it have that same level of innovation?
I mean, from what I understand, from what I've seen, it looks like it's definitely doing some new things. You're no longer trapped in quarters. Like a lot of times, when you play like these games, like it's a lot of hallways and quarters. Then there's always something right behind you. Like you fall down somewhere. This one's open ended. You got a freaking jet horse.
You are still trapped and stuff mostly. The open world thing, you go into dungeons. It's got like a hub, but then you basically go into Dark Souls dungeons in whatever order you
areas
want.
where, like, from what I've seen, there's extended areas where you're just out. You know what I'm saying? And you're riding on your horse, like you're doing like that's new for the franchise. I know that's not new for an open world game, but it's new for the franchise.
If you want to ride, don't ride the right horse.
Is that a cocaine joke? I don't even know anymore.
It's a song from the 80s, but yes, that's the whole thing.
Totally
Drugs.
cocaine.
I have no idea, but I've never done hardcore drugs.
It's a good song. Listen to it. It's called White Horse by Laid Back. You've probably remember that song by Monifa? If you really want to touch it, if you really want to.
Yeah.
That song, the sample in that song is White Horse by Laid Back.
Sean, is Ocarina of Time the best Zelda game to you?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Weird.
The best Zelda game?
Breath of the Wild, baby.
He said.
No, it's got to be Link to the Past.
Well,
Or
see, the
Breath of
problem with
Wild.
Link to the Past for me is I didn't play it growing up. I didn't play it until I was an adult, so it didn't quite.
You can still play it now.
I know. I
and it's
played
pretty
it. I
damn
played
good.
it and beat it a couple times now, but
Yeah.
I still would rather prefer, especially if you could give me like a nice, clean looking version of the game.
No, you got to play the
Ocarina.
original. You got to play the original.
I can still do it.
I mean, I think the two best, and no one gives the credit. Link's Awakening. Nobody talks about Link's Awakening. That game is
Link's
baller.
Awakening is freaking awesome, dude.
It's
I love
awesome.
that game.
Damn puzzles, man. Like that game has just some really.
Yeah, the tower, the
my
Eagle
issue
Tower.
My issue with Ocarina of Time is that everyone was so excited about it going 3D, and they just didn't realize that it was just the 3D version of Link to the Past.
But wait, it's more than that.
No,
I mean, you get a horse, you get a arena,
horse?
you get all sorts of
Long
stuff.
Lawn
The
Ranch,
combat is completely different.
racing.
Long Lawn Ranch.
The
That's it. I'm
combat's
getting the gold
completely
version.
different.
We're bringing up horses on a ranch right now to differentiate them. I don't know.
There's no Z targeting. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that they did this certain stuff. Nah, Ocarina felt way. I guess obviously it looks different.
I'm sorry. Did A Link to the Past come in a gold box?
This man.
No, but Link to the Past had three dungeons in the light world, then went to the dark world where you had 7 dungeons, and then to win, you had to fire the magic back at the wizard with your master sword, which is exactly what you did in Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time.
Could you have
Link to
up
the
to
Past.
3 games can be saved simultaneously to memory?
Yeah.
No.
I think Link to the Past has that.
Time travel allows you to play as Link at different stages of his life. Can I do that in the light and the dark world? I don't think so, sir.
It has Dark World. Link to the Past has Dark World.
By the
Yeah, but
way,
it doesn't have
Adult Link, but you're not Adult Link.
by the way, it did come in a gold box in
Get that PAL crap out of here.
in Europe and Australia.
Fucking 50 megahertz a second.
50
We're
megahertz.
talking about like Elden Ring and Horizon. We're talking about Horizon. How to get to Zelda?
I don't know.
We did
I just had to shut down the Ocarina talk is all.
Oh my god, this man hating on Ocarina of Time. Man.
No, I really
Man.
like Link to the Past 3D. It's one of the better games, yes.
It's
Oh
not
my
the
God.
same.
Another shot.
Hook shot, yes. Joker, is there a hook shot?
Yes.
That you use in the but you use it completely differently.
Yeah, you use it better in Link to the Past.
Wow. Was that like your one? Did you have like a fallout with your friends?
Is there a
That
house
was
in
all you had.
Skulltula?
Yeah.
No.
Is there open world elements?
Yes.
Not the same though. That's like saying, "Oh, Grand Theft Auto 2 is better than Grand Theft Auto 3." Nobody says that.
I do. Give me Dreamcast.
The world is even like built out very similarly.
This is the weirdest tale. I agree to an extent, but man, I don't know. I think that the boss design is so much better in N64. Oh god, I'm spacing Ocarina of Time. But I don't know.
So now we're gonna get to play Majora's Mask. So now everyone's gonna start saying that's the best Zelda game. That's
I think
No.
it's the better one to revisit.
No.
I think it's much more interesting than Ocarina of Time.
Better on the 3. I like the 3DS version more.
Oh,
than the
don't say that online, man. Oh,
I'll
man.
what the fuck do I care? What are you gonna do? Yell at me? Ooh.
Yes,
Come at me. I don't give a fuck.
they are. You're gonna have to
I
No,
think
I read,
Majora's
like-
Mask is better to go back to.
I never liked it on the N64.
Well, it just so
Really?
happens we're going back to it next week.
Yeah, there
right?
you go. Going back next week. Very
I'll give it
good.
a fair shot. I rented it so many times, but I didn't have the money for games back then. I rented it so many times, and I ended up beating it and just thinking that this isn't what I wanted. But I thought it was okay. But I'll give it a fair shot just playing it through this time, not being interrupted by renting all that crap.
And they had an original idea in Majora's Mask, unlike Ocarina of Time when they take from Link
Yeah,
to the
but
Past.
some ideas don't need to be made.
The Intellivision Amico is an original idea. Does that mean that we need one?
Oh, I just got
It
caught
doesn't
up
even
with that
exist.
drama. It's
Welcome.
so good.
Welcome, my
So
friend. It's amazing. It's
I've been watching the videos. I'm like, yo, this
It's
is
so-
like, it's so good. Watch
it
the
is so
Amico
crazy.
drama, guys. It's such a good thing. It's so fun. It makes gaming fun to me to see all this stuff going back and forth.
You think Sony and Xbox fanboys are bad? You haven't seen a goddamn thing. My
Yeah.
God.
So the next
Amico-
Amico promotion video, they're gonna clip OJ saying it makes gaming fun to me, and then use that in the next promo.
Use my
Oh.
clip. Yeah, I saw that with
the
Rerez,
best, yeah.
right?
Where it was Rerez being like, this console can't make it, but if anyone could do it, it's Tommy Talrico. And they cut it so it's like, this console will make it because of Tommy. It's like
It's like that.
I
the
love
Simpsons
that
thing.
stuff, man.
Sweet,
People are like
sweet,
having
yeah.
mental breakdowns.
Yeah, exactly.
People they're fighting each other. I'm like, dude, this is it, man.
Dude,
this is
it's
it.
Well,
next level
and then
shit.
the weirdness of a bunch of like soccer dads invested money in it, and now they're the people that are making YouTube videos being like, I love this console. It's like, this feels illegal somehow.
Like everybody looks like a dad. Everybody looks like they're 40 so 50.
But it's not for them. It's for kids and soccer moms and grandmas and grandpas somehow.
Yeah,
Why didn't they just make a plug and play system with 20 games loaded and sell it for $100?
because they're
Or
dumb as
why
hell.
didn't? Well, I mean, because like the thing is, you can get Intellivision collections on your modern consoles. You can get it on the Evercade
Evercade,
Versus,
yeah.
$20 for like 10 Intellivision games. Like that's what you need to do, but I don't know.
Soccer dads, you fighting back and forth.
No, soccer dads be getting crazy though, especially like
if
high
you-
school soccer dads.
Yeah, male Karens. Yeah, they'll defend the Amico.
Name
Fix
a
them
game
up,
that's on. What's the
Aaron
game that's
Energy.
on there? What's the game that's on there?
On what, the Amico?
Yeah.
Shark-
What's the
Shark-
game?
Shark-
What's the
Shark-
game?
Shark-
What am I
Shark-
buying this game
yeah.
for?
Astro Smash
Poopy
Rigid
diaper.
Force Redo.
Did you just say Shark?
Yeah.
Well, I watched.
Finnegan Fox Game of the Year. I mean, that's a draw dropping title right there.
Wasn't that just the
chat,
downgrade of the other version that came out before it? I thought that just got rid of all the extra characters in the online or something.
If you want to go down a weird rabbit hole,
I'm gonna type this game in. Okay, I'm gonna take one look at it.
Yeah,
I'll give you my immediate impression on this.
You have to watch
Shark.
Chat. People who don't know this, watch these Amico fanboy videos. They're videos that have like 100 views, and it's a guy being like, "Yeah, the games suck, but I'll enjoy playing them."
Watch the drama. Watch like.
Yeah, you gotta watch, but you gotta watch both ends of the spectrum because
watch both ends,
I'm not giving the crazies a pass either on either side because there are people that will literally like slit their wrist for the Amico, and then there are people that will slit your wrist for the Amico because they hate it so much, and there's people that love it so much. A lot of people sort of fall into the middle. Those are kind of boring. You gotta watch the extremists on this.
Yeah, you gotta watch, and then watch like the people that have always been against. Like, I think the biggest one would be like what Pat and Ian, right? That would be like the
Pat and Ian have been very against it.
Yeah, so watch that stuff too.
When the thing was first unveiled, how the fuck are we talking about this? When the thing was first unveiled in 2018, they did the initial trailer for it, and I made a video on it because I thought it sounded pretty cool. They showed you a bunch of, they said 149 to 179. They said we have all of these licensed games that we're working on, and they weren't like. There was Intellivision games, but there's also games from like late 80s arcade stuff, some NES titles that were mixed in there. So I was like, okay, these games hit with me. It's something I'm interested in. And then they were like, oh, we're doing Earthworm Jim 4 exclusively on it. So once again, I was like, okay, this sounds like something cool. And then just like ever since they made that Earthworm Jim 4 announcement, it's just been a constant downhill. Like it's just been problem after problem after problem with it. And man, like it's a completely different beast. When you watch that initial trailer, the 149 to 179 gone. It's 250 and up now. Like then and then.
What did you just what?
Yeah, they said in the initial trailer, they said all games are going to be $5. Now they're saying all games are going to be $20. Like everything's doubled or quadrupled in price.
Well, the new thing is that like if you backed it via one of their many crowdfunding things, which they won't admit to it that it's crowdfunding for whatever reason, your price is locked in at the 250, but supposedly when it hits shelves, it'll be more.
This just looks like a waste of time. I'm looking at Shark and I'm looking at Finnegan Fox.
Mm-hmm.
That's like some Newgrounds.
Which is Fox Forest on the Switch.
When I first saw it, I was like, this thing's dumb. And I literally I looked at the controller and I was like, this is stupid. And I never paid attention to it again until recently. You're a fraud though, RGT, for suggesting that it should be good. Making that video.
No. Scrap the idea. They got this touchscreen controller, $100 plug and play, 20 loaded games, ship it.
Watch that initial trailer, the very first trailer that they put out, and then watch every other trailer since then. It went from because initially it was marketed as like a new retro console, and then somewhere along the way they were like, you know what, fuck those guys. We're gonna use them for marketing, but we're just gonna make a bunch of fucking kids games. And like, it's like, what happened here?
The scam. How much did Tommy pay you? You part in the scam, bro.
I did a video with Tommy where I was allowed to ask him whatever
you too,
I wanted.
Guy?
And when I asked him, I was like, what's going to happen with this console if it fails in 6 months? And he's like, it won't, because it's so interesting and innovative. And now it's not even going to come out probably. So it's like, well, I guess it didn't last 6 months.
Oh, this looks terrible.
Yeah, people leaving voice messages, man. I hate you. I can't believe that you turned your back on us. You guys see that?
Yeah.
No, my God, please link that.
I can't believe you turn your back on us, you backstabber. I'm like, bro,
I saw the clip. The new CEO of Intellivision did an interview on a YouTube channel with 300 subscribers, and he's just like, all the haters are
this
trying
thing costs the same amount as a Switch OLED or an Xbox Series S?
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's more expensive than a Switch Lite.
But you're getting Shark.
Like, fuck.
Let's go up, man. You can't.
My theory is that they'll do the Founders Editions, which I think are like 5,000, and then that's it. We're done.
Honestly, I'm looking at this thing right now. They might want to figure out how to close this down as soon as possible, because
they're probably going to release the minimum amount possible to not get sued, because some of the numbers that have been thrown around, they've taken like 10 million or 50 million of investor money, so they have to release something.
Yeah, I don't see any future for this product.
Guys,
looking at it right now. All right.
I need 10K.
Anyway,
I'm gonna invest. I just need 10K. Somebody lend it to me, please. I'm gonna invest.
Would not invest in that. I'm looking at it now.
Low key, I kind of want to get one to mess around with. Not
Let's
gonna
open
lie.
it up and see what's inside.
Yep.
It says
A
Samoa
spider crawls
process.
out.
I was gonna say a hamster on a wheel.
Make a good video.
Or it's like one of those
Hey,
like,
the Atari VCS actually came out, and you know what? It runs Windows. There you go. That actually happened.
that's true.
Yeah, they delivered it.
God damn, Carl Anthony Towns is wilding.
All right, Evan, we got Discord question over there.
Well, we were on Horizon, so I'll just throw out, what's the cast slot on the $275 Regalia edition that doesn't even come with a physical disc?
Stupid.
I understand why it doesn't come with a disc, because I thought about it a bit, because there's a digital PlayStation 5 system. So if they sold it with a disc, then it wouldn't work for that. And we've seen these collector editions come with a code, and I think it's just the dumbest thing, because it's like you're spending hundreds of dollars, give them a physical copy of the game. But I mean, it says it right there when you go to buy it, which is why I would never buy something like that. But I think it's dumb. It's a weird practice.
I don't do collector's editions anymore. I have so many, they're so big. And that one, I've seen the pictures. That thing is giant. Like, good deal, I guess, if you want that, but no.
I mean, just sell the statue separately as a thing. I don't know. Yeah, that's just the future. Almost the present, by the way. Digital games. Almost. Got another one over there, Evan?
How much do you believe the rumor of Metal Gear Solid Remake targeting the PSVR 2 launch?
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
PSVR. You're fucking.
I don't know where we get questions like every couple of weeks where I'm like, what Twitter feed are
That
you
would actually
following?
be awesome, so it probably won't happen.
Yeah.
I'd be all for it having a mode for VR. If anything, I don't think it'd be the specific, like, I don't think it'd be a game specifically for it and have a mode.
You cannot trust Konami to do something like that.
Oh no, they wouldn't do it.
all.
They would hand it to someone else. They'd be like,
can't
here's
even trust them.
the IP, send us the check.
Who can make that?
To be fair, that Getsu Fumiden game that they just released on the Switch,
Yeah.
I've been playing it.
Yeah.
Is it good?
It looks pretty good.
I will have a video up soon on it.
Did
That
they pay you?
that game's good, and their Castlevania Advance collection was good too. They're good at going back, but like a new Metal Gear. Look what happened with the last one. What was it? Survive.
Mm-hmm.
Is Sean? Is that a sponsored video?
What? I can't hear you. Audio just cut off.
Okay.
But no, it is a good game. Like, I've actually sunk a lot of time into it this weekend.
Wait for that check to clear. I can hear it.
Let me go to some of the super chats here. Trip and Fall says, my week started with me hoping that Mario Kart DLC would come to Wii U, and it ended with the whole thing being shut down. Scott said, been watching for a few months now and thought I'd show my appreciation for the great content y'all make. Much love from Scotland.
Hey,
Thank you.
Josh says, what do you use for the music before the cast starts? What do you use for the music, Evan?
It's a song I pulled. It's one of the DMCA free, no need for anything songs that YouTube has, and it's background studio stuff. That way we don't get screwed over.
Do you just play it with like VLC or something like that, right?
Yep.
Well, it's okay, cool. There we go. D Jones says, pour one out for Wood. Oh, getting bamboozled by Sony, having to buy 2 copies of Horizon Forbidden West.
That's how they get
You're
you.
still enjoying the game. Yep. All digital future. Looking forward to it. Romy says, I recently got my D-brand black plates, but when I went to go swap them out, I realized dust is built up in the vents and fans of my PS5, which made me curious. How often do you guys clean your console PCs, and how do you do it? Well, with the PS5, it's not too bad, because when you pop their sides off, they have spots for vacuuming or like compressed air and stuff. But usually like at least like once a month, you just kind of wipe it off and like hit it with some compressed air and stuff, and that's about it. The fans inside will take care of the rest.
I do it once every 5 years, like an absolute.
Well, I actually end up moving my console around a lot. Like the PS5, I had to take it to the office and back, and like my Xbox. So the fact that I'm moving it around, I also like pick it up and look at it and stuff. So, but I would just do that. Compressed air, just blast it. You just got to loosen up the dust a bit so the fan inside can take care of the rest and jettison it out. So, V says, John Linneman guest to discuss preservation when. He's on a different time zone than this, so it's a little harder. But I wouldn't mind having John on for some sort of discussion at some point.
John's awesome. He'd be great to have on. But yeah, he's in Europe, so the time zone is pretty difficult for him.
Zuck says, is Zelda 35 over, or does Nintendo just hate money? I'm waiting for that Wind Waker. I mean, they got to bring Wind Waker now. Got to bring Wind Waker to the Switch.
Yeah,
Bring Twilight Princess to the Switch.
Now that every Wii U is about to self-destruct, they have to bring it over.
That's not many.
All 10 of them.
He says, where can I get ROMs legally? Is it even possible? I'm trying to live right.
No.
Google's your friend.
Yeah, just do it. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Khalid says, OJ, fix your cam game.
What?
I don't know.
I think it's just trolling. You look fine, brother.
Mm.
Joe says, John Carney, the CEO of Crypto Safe, has made it known that he loves playing Halo. Does RGT think he could beat him in a Team Slayer match?
Love playing and good at playing are two separate things.
I think Sean would win.
I mean, I'll fuck him up.
Like Sean is the type of guy who reminds me of the Dark Souls player who bitches constantly, because Sean is legitimately good at Halo, but the whole time he's just screaming about how much he hates Halo.
Only when he gets teabagged.
Oh yeah, it's entertaining though. It's fun.
Well, I mean, you have so like you have the whole cussing to be cool thing. Like, all right, no, but like when. Like, all right, so when we were mad young and we go to the skate park and there'd be like dudes there, either like older dudes or like out of town dudes who are like ripping it up. Me and my friends would come up with this thing. We'd be like, all right, we'll just act like, we could do the same shit that they're pulling. And then when we fuck up, we just start cussing. And then they'll be like, oh, these dudes must be legit. And they know what they're doing. They just keep messing up. So like we would like all of a sudden you just hear like one of my buddies be like, fuck. And you look and like they'd be trying some trick that they had no business trying, that there was zero chance of landing. But like people would pay attention to be like, oh, that dude must be badass. He must know what he's doing. It's just what we did, man.
On a Ship says, the cast, is it worth getting the Mass Effect trilogy on PS4 if you have Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 on PS3 and never played the series yet? Thanks.
Yes.
Yes. The improvements to 1 are practically a remake.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Even the loading times and just all the quality of life things they've given it. It's worth it.
Voxy says, for anyone worried, Yoshi P, director and producer of Final Fantasy XIV, confirmed that they're not interested in NFTs for the game in their producer live letter. Well, there you go.
It was a good live letter.
T-Joe says, just got out of the Uncharted movie as of typing this. Wasn't all that impressed, but I wish Sony let us choose the theater for the free ticket. No Regal Cinemas near me. M1 said, this is for News God. Love the news. I watch it daily and kind of miss the Saturday show, to be honest. Stopped doing that a long time ago, actually. Wow. Been on for a while. Nathaniel says, with Legends being popular, why not bring back Stadium for competitive? With Pokemon Home, you could move your Pokemon from all games to build a team.
It doesn't make sense to do that, to do Stadium, because the only reason why Stadium existed was because it's a portable.
Right, that way you could put it on your console then. Yeah.
With Pokemon Sword and Shield, you can do the same exact thing that you did in Stadium.
Yep.
So there was no once they moved over to Switch, there was like really no reason. They never made a Pokemon game on the Wii U. It would have made sense to have Stadium game, but not anymore.
I kind of like it. I don't know. It's dumb and it's not needed, but I would dig it.
Let me pull this up here. And we do have a sponsor for tonight's podcast. Same sponsor as last week. So either I really like Factor or I messed up the spot completely last week. So I'll let you guys figure that one out while I tell you about how Factor makes it easy for me to eat clean 24/7 with fresh, never frozen, prepared meals that are so delicious you wouldn't believe they're actually good for you. Now, they save you time by delivering chef-crafted meals to my doorstep, limiting the hassle of grocery shopping and meal prep, not to mention cleanup. No dishes to watch. In fact, these will be ready for you in less than 2 minutes, which is way faster than having to order out and have that stuff delivered. Even Sean's been looking into it because of that. Save him time. He get back to watching the Knicks getting slammed all over. Okay. And Factor even knows your preferences. They offer vegan, veggie meals, cold pressed juices, smoothies, energy bites, plant-based bars, extra protein, veggie sides, and more. Keep you fueled and focused all day long. Head to go.factor75.com/spawncast120 use code Spawncast120 to get $120 off. That's code Spawncast120 at go.factor75.com/Spawncast120 for $120 off. Let's talk about the eShop for the Wii U.
You know, it's funny. I'm
3DS.
actually doing next month. I'm doing a food thing, but it's a different one. That's why I didn't say anything during that.
And now we have to do the ad next week again.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Wii U and the 3DS eShop because it is getting shut down actually. And I feel like this kind of surprised a lot of people. Which is interesting because I feel like we knew the life was limited on these shops for these systems, but when Nintendo announced it hit pretty hard. Now I do want to get the dates up because I can go to the Nintendo's 3DS and Wii U eShop notice because they did give us actual dates for the closures of them. Here we go. This is the Wii U and 3DS eShop. So as of May 23rd, no longer possible to use a credit card to add funds. So that would be 3 months. Yes, 3 months. And then August 29th, no longer possible to use a Nintendo eShop card to add funds to an account in the eShop or Wii U. And in order to then buy something afterwards, that would be in 6 months, a little more than 6 months, you would have to use your shared wallet basically on your Nintendo account now and essentially transfer funds over. Basically, they were trying to go through it, and it sounds like I'm sure try to figure that out if there's any last minute purchases to make before next year, March 2023, when the Wii U and the 3DS eShops sunset officially. You'll still be able to re-download everything, but anything that's free right now, which includes PokeBank, will no longer be available to grab. So what do we think about this announcement? Because they put it up on Twitter and it just exploded online like immediately.
It feels sad. It had to happen eventually, but it feels sad. And I say I hate the Wii U. I think the Wii U is a turd sandwich, but it's still weird that it's getting shut off.
Honestly, I think it's really disappointing. You know, it's typical Nintendo bullshit. You know, they are unwilling to offer any other alternative. They've never been interested in doing it. I think back to the Wii Shop that closed in 2019. There are games like the Rebirth series, which I would love to see come to the Switch. And unfortunately, we'll never see those games again. I did a Twitter thing today asking people what their favorite digital 3DS games were, and I got all sorts of great games. I've been checking some of them out today. And look, I think it's really disappointing. Nintendo really needs to come up with a better solution for this. Now, this is not about, no one bought the Wii and no one cares. This is a bigger issue. And this is not about preservation either, because, let's be honest, every single 3DS game has been dumped and is available online. You can download as a ROM, right? So preservation doesn't even matter. This is about Nintendo really just, giving a middle finger to their customers once again. And I'm very disappointed by it. I think they need to do something else. You compare it to the 360, which is not a perfect service, let's be honest. But the 360, their store has been online since 2005. So why can't Nintendo offer the same thing? I've heard things like, well, the servers are old, they have to take them offline eventually. No, they don't. They don't have to do any of that. They're making a decision to do this, and I think it's wrong. And I think they really need to think about their customers and how they can bring these games forward to their loyal fan base. Like, there are 75 million 3DS owners out there, and you're basically saying, sorry, we're done. We're wrapping up today. We're wrapping up in a year from now, and I think it's unfortunate.
I'll be honest, I wasn't too surprised with the Wii U. Like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I guess, because it's like how many people actually have a Wii U? I mean, I have 4 of them, and I feel like I'm like majority stakeholder in the system right now. If it wasn't for Scott, it might be one of the most
the CEO of the Wii U.
Yeah, I might be. I don't know. Just based on console, like OJ has a bunch of consoles too for the Wii U, so we might control 50% of them here.
I've got 3 or 4. I don't know. They're like hiding somewhere. I got Japanese ones.
Yeah. So like I get that. I'm like, I wonder, like, I would love to see the numbers for how many people were active on the Wii U eShop, because I think it probably wasn't many. But the issue with that, obviously, is that games like a very fairly priced Metroid Prime Trilogy, for example, is just like gone. Then the one the free downloads is the one that's kind of frustrating, because I wonder if you can still get the Xenoblade Chronicles X HD texture or the texture pack things that made it load faster. I wonder if those will still be available. That's like the only place you're playing it right now.
I think it'll only be available if you've already downloaded it. If you have not downloaded it, then it won't be available. Anything that you've already downloaded will be available for you to re-download.
Well, maybe they'll just port Chronicles X to the Switch anyway. Hopefully, I mean that's the hope at this point, right?
They need to. They can't leave that. They can't let it die with that system. That's ridiculous.
I do want to point out there was this very interesting story that popped up on Nintendo Life with apparently an alleged source that they had talking about Nintendo, why they are doing this, which a lot of it comes down to them wanting to close out their old store or their like the stuff they have set up as they move to this new Nintendo account system with their Switch and this new online system they're using. But they did say one thing in there that I find hard to believe, but I mean, here we are with the 3DS and the Wii U shop getting shut down. They mentioned that Nintendo might just have it so you can't re-download anything after like 2 or 3 years.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
That would be rough because a lot of people right now are rushing to buy digital games. And if in 2 or 3 years you weren't able to download them, I don't know. That might bring up there might be some like class action stuff at that point, I feel like, because it wasn't advertised 2 or 3 years before or some I don't know. I guess it's going to come down to if that's even correct, because this was a source from Nintendo Life going over this. And it sounds like someone who may have worked at Nintendo before, and who knows how that I get disgruntled employees, that kind of thing. But until people really verify that further, I still think it's something that's more rumor territory, but it's something to consider for anyone out there. I would actually go for the physical stuff now, because
good luck.
Yeah, that's already skyrocketing.
But it's going to jump more when the shop shut down. That's when it'll go up even further, because that's when people really go. People are going to wait. Like, let's be real. They're going to put this off for like a year, and then they're going to realize, oh, those stores are shut down. Let me go find Dragon Quest 8 or something. And it's like, oh, now it's $300. You know, it's already $100 now, but like, it'll just continue to go up. All right, Sean, hit us.
You can't yell at people for piracy when you don't give them a way to give you money to play your games. Point blank, period. That's what this all boils down to. The Wii U allows you to buy games on there. The 3DS allows you to buy games on there. Retro games, exclusive games on the shops, you know, the smaller titles, the bigger titles. You can't get mad at people for wanting to play these games and pirating these games if you're not giving them a way to give you money to play the games. And I think that's the biggest problem, is you constantly see Nintendo going after ROM sites and ROM hackers and, you know, this, that, and the other. And it's like, why? You're not giving people a way to buy your games. And I think that's the biggest disconnect, especially when it comes to an optics standpoint, because you can't. You literally have to look to piracy in order to play some of these games. Especially, and even if you were to buy it, even if there were games that were available on, you know, in a physical way, Nintendo's still not making money off those physical copies. All you're doing is artificially inflating this retro gaming market that exists now. So no matter how you play it, if you pirate a game or if you buy a game from a reseller, Nintendo still doesn't get a cut of it. So what's the fucking difference?
Especially since this is digital, and Nintendo did have that Q&A page that specifically stated if you're looking for retro games from them to go to pawn shops. And it's like, does the pawn shop have your server? Ridiculous. Can we get it from there?
You know what was really interesting was that Q&A, right? There was that question that Nintendo posted, and they took it back down. They were not somebody got a little frosty there and wrote like a paragraph for a question. It was like all the stuff people on Twitter were basically asking. They were like, we'll show them. And you know what was really surprising is they pointed to their subscription service. They were like, no, you want to go to the subscription service if you want these retro things. It's like, and Nintendo really is like going the way of subscriptions now over everything else, which is just, it's interesting to consider that. But yeah, that was I guess it read as a very snarky response, is what we'll say, and they're like, "Now I gotta pull that down."
I read that in my video, yeah, and yeah, for anybody in chat who didn't see it, there was basically this one really long question which said, "Hey, some of these games are about to cease to exist. Don't you have a moral obligation to make these games stay up?" And I was like, "No."
Basically,
it was the Don Matrick. If you want to play these games, says we have a system.
Yeah, the
for you.
Xbox 360.
Hey, you know what people don't remember? And I might be doing a video on this tomorrow, and I will say there was an actual 360 that was introduced at that show. So his phrasing actually makes sense.
The E?
Yep. Yeah, that was shown there for about 60 seconds.
When it comes to everybody that like says stuff here, like I agree with it. The only thing that I kind of push back on a little bit is like I look back at the Wii era, you know, and I've spoken, and like the Wii era had all this stuff and piracy was through the roof. There is still a separate set of people that just want free stuff. There are crazy amounts of piracy on the Switch. There was crazy amounts of piracy on the Xbox 360. That system was insane, and they offered everything for people to buy. So I think that there are some people that they want something, but they also don't want to support it. And that's the issue. That's the issue that I have. This, like, what you guys are saying is I'm with you guys. But there are tons of people who didn't support them, that refused to show their Wii U memories, refused to show what they bought, refused to show anything, but then want to cry foul when you didn't support it.
I think that's the smallest fraction. For the 3DS, I'll fully agree, because the 3DS is so easy to hack.
I disagree. I've seen so many people that didn't. Nobody supported these systems, and I see what MVG's saying. Nobody supported it, but now you're upset. You've got to support something if you want to see something continue.
Nobody
okay, guys, I hate Blockbuster. Blockbuster sucks ass. It's terrible. Oh, but I'm sad to see it go.
That's why I'm not surprised as much about the Wii U, but the 3DS was the one that surprised me a bit, because that was heavily supported with like 75 million units or something.
It's still selling in Japan.
What I related to is, you know, and there was talks about the Vita store closing down.
We're gonna get to that.
I just bought a Vita, so if I would have bought this, and I bought games on the digital storefront because they're cheaper to do it that way.
Nobody bought the Vita when it was out.
But I don't care.
We tried to spread the good word to Sean.
What does that have to do with me right now? I just bought one of these, so I would like to give Sony and all the companies some money.
Want Sony to support forever a system that sold 14 million units?
Not new games, but you could give me the games that are available on the digital market.
I think that people need to support stuff. Support it so they can continue getting support. That's what I think. When the Vita got closed down, or when I said, oh well, people didn't buy that, so like I understand, like I get it. The PS3 and the PSP, that sold like almost 200 million units combined. Those were really popular. I completely get that, you know. And I see what you guys are saying. What I'm saying is that you can't not support anything and it sells like terrible trash and then expect it to continue for forever. Like if it's like the Vita sold so bad, are they going to really make those games available for forever?
But this just feels like the companies have the plan to go forward to always shut it down. I mean, I after reading a lot of these things, I thought it was funny that the one digital store I've been using since the PlayStation 2, and it hasn't shut down because people support it. And it's like,
because people support it.
What defines support?
You've got to buy games for it to continue.
But that's the problem. I've been changing hardware, and it's constantly moving forward, so it's always with it. Whereas you have to buy the next system, and the next system doesn't work with it, so they might as well just get rid of it, right? Eventually, because that's their plan.
I mean, OJ, you're not wrong, but I also point back to the 3DS. That was just, I mean, it absolutely sold like hotcakes, man, and like a lot of games sold really well, and the result is the same. And I think the frustration really is, there's no kind of roadmap to say, but don't worry, we're going to be working on something else. Like the Spartacus thing with there's some talk that they're going to bring PS3 and PS2 games and stuff to that service. That none of that has actually happened yet, so it's only talk right now. But it seems like Sony has some type of plan, right, to bring their library forward, right? At least based on Shirai's report. With Nintendo, we don't really seem to know anything about what their future holds. And going back and looking at the Wii, it doesn't sound like there's anything in the works. And I think that's really the sad part about the whole thing. It's not necessarily about sales. It's about what are you going to, how are you going to, bring some of these games forward? And I'm not talking about the entire library of Wii U games. Like most of them can just, it's not really that,
they almost got all of them.
Yeah, they did. I mean, most of them already have been ported anyway.
The virtual console and like I said, I agree. I agree with what, like I said, I don't disagree with what you guys were saying. Heck, I agree with many of the points. My issue is that like I said, you have career clout chasers and people that legitimately don't support at all and then want to be upset. And then when I call them on that, like I said, I'm not going to call names, but you guys have seen people that I've quote tweeted and stuff that are sit there and rile people up and refuse to show what they've purchased. Refuse to show what they've bought, how they've supported, but yet you want things to continue.
It's
like, that's what I'm saying. Like tons of check marks too, like lots of check marks and people like that. So that's what I'm saying.
OJ, I agree with you. I mean, there is a human like psyche thing that says in our minds that says if you take something away from us that we have, we're not going to be happy about it. And it doesn't matter if you were ever invested in that. If you have some level of involvement, and even if it's like 0.1%, if you take something away from me, then I'm gonna complain about it. And I think that's
how I was raised. That's called a fake ass bitch. If you want me to be if you want me to be real, that's how I was called a fake ass. That's called a fake ass person. Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't vibe with people who don't support something, who want to speak out against it but don't truly believe in it. If you believe in something and you support it,
but
you're sitting here and cry foul 10 years later. You had a decade, and then we have the career Ash Ketchums, the people that say, "I'm 10 years old back then." You've been 10 for like 10 years or 11 years now. The system's been available. You've been Ash Ketchum. You've been Bart Simpson for forever. You have those people too, but they have all sorts of Xbox and PlayStation. Like I said, I agree with you guys, and I'm not disagreeing. What I'm disagreeing with is some of the people who've done nothing to support and somehow get upset. If you take something away, okay. But like I said, I guess that's a different way of raised. My parents did not raise me to not support something.
You're getting mad at Twitter weirdos. I just want to say these are Twitter weirdos.
I can give you guys names later. I'll give you guys names later.
Put in the chat.
But conceptually speaking, I mean, I'm not that into Halo, but John is, and if Halo Infinite suddenly starts to crash and burn and he's like, no, I want to keep playing it, I would feel personally bad for him, and if there was something possible to help it go forward.
I gotta admit, I did feel kind of bad for Evan with the whole Battlefield thing, because it would come up in the news and I'd be like, man, I know, and I look over and Evan's playing Battlefield.
I'm playing it. It was feeling fine for me, and next thing you know, people are like, I can't shoot things from range because I suck at shooting, and I'm like, I'm sorry for you.
I'm busy browsing the PlayStation Vita store to support people.
Well, so that's the point. I haven't
updated that Vita store in so long.
You go buy Vitas and support it now. It was sucked and it was trash when it was there, but now it's awesome. Everybody go buy and support it.
Well, no. But so seriously, I have a big.
Let me get my Vita out.
I'm a huge believer in vote with your wallet. So I actually, a lot of times if I enjoy a game and I want to give money to the developers, like I just bought Chrono Cross. I have every single Square Enix RPG. I paid real money for it. No, I love them. I mean, they're a little bit overpriced on Vita. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it's still like, I just am playing through Chrono Cross right now, God, that's much more beautiful than mine there, OJ.
This is a Japanese
exclusive,
Ice Blue PS Vita.
With your Vitas combined, you are Captain Discontinued.
Like this is every Vita that was ever released in this one stream.
Such a beautiful unit.
I have the orange one. I have the orange one too.
I've got a white Japanese one somewhere. I got to find it.
Well, I wanted the Final Fantasy X one. That one looks cool.
My point is that I just hate that once they close those stores down, because you can't buy stuff. Like, that's what feels weird, is that we're at a point where, like, even if you want to support the developers, even if you are late to the train, there's a Wii U downstairs in my house boxed. I'll be honest, I don't know where the hell it came from. And at this point, I'm not too motivated to hook it up, because even if I buy something, now I know the whole store is about to basically get Thanos.
My only concern is the idea of the re-downloads just going away. That it would be concerning. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but that is. I didn't think we'd get to that point in like 3 or 4 years.
Can you still re-download Wii games? Because I mean, that would be a good temperature check.
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't checked it.
I mean, if you can't, then I'd be worried. If you can, then I'd
someone should check that. Someone out there, see if you can re-download a virtual console game or something. See if that's possible on the original Wii
from the Wii shop.
Yeah, find the one unhacked Wii.
I don't think you can download anything from the Wii Shop anymore, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Yeah, it's completely cooked, which is like MVG said, that's the problem. Like I said, I 100% agree with that. They need a much better solution, going forward. And I'm hoping with this whole app thing but you still, it's a subscription service. You can't buy the games individually. So like there's the issues with that, So like I said, I'm with you guys on that. What I'm not with is the people not supporting and drowning the system,
But if the virtual console itself is limited anyway, in the sense that you won't be able to re-download games later on, like, isn't it basically a subscription service anyway? I mean, yeah, you've bought it, you own it, and you have to keep like paying yearly. But if they all go away anyway, then technically the subscription service would be the better option, since it would carry over to the next system, we'd assume. So I don't even know what you said.
What you said?
Well, so the idea here is you bought the virtual console game, right? And we're hearing, you might not be able to re-download it.
Okay.
In the future, like let's say they actually do shut this down to where you can't even re-download them on the Wii U. Well, then all you've really done is just borrow the game anyway.
But I mean, to be fair on Nintendo at that point, it's like Sony has the same problem with PlayStation 3 and stuff like that, right? I mean,
for streaming.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only thing we can hope for that Nintendo is thinking about, maybe bringing some of these games back, or maybe, providing more systems for like the virtual console, later on. It's really all what I'm looking for. I don't want, I get it. Like everything has an end of life date, right? So all things have to stop at some point.
Everything dies.
Everything dies. Yeah.
Everything dies.
But I mean, it would just be really kind of reassuring to customers, fans, whatever, to say, look, we have to do this, but stay tuned because we will have some announcements whenever. And I think that'd be enough, for I think a lot of people to be like, okay, well, we'll see what Nintendo has, for us.
Oh, what happens to physical games on the Switch if they shut those servers down in 15 years and you can't download half the game?
Well, I'll be dead by then.
You tell me.
I hope so.
You'll be dead in 15 years?
I hope so.
I'm probably
you checking your clock.
There's no way you're going to be, unless you commit something.
Nah,
there's no way you're going to be dead in 15 years.
Nah, man.
No,
I think John.
I think I'm on borrowed time anyways.
I think
no way.
John,
stop it,
John. I think the answer you're looking for is Yuzu and ROMs.
Oh God. Okay. Well, here's the other question. When Sony announced their closures, they got hit pretty hard. Like, I think I'm going to say the backlash was bigger for Sony when they announced PS3, Vita, and PSP closures.
Because it was systems that people cared about.
Because it was who determines whether you care about it or not? Sorry, I'm downloading Injustice: Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition by Warner Brothers Studios for $20.
You're 8 years too late. You should have did it when the PS Vita when they needed it.
They still need it.
No, I mean, when it comes to the like I said, I kept the same energy. Like when I actually said this back in March when people were asking me, man, like what about if the eShops for the Wii U close? And I'm like, look, they're gonna close it. Like I have the VOD and everything. I said they're gonna close it, and when they do, it's gonna be like I'm gonna be like whatever. I'm not as big on like you guys are more classic people than me in terms of playing old games. I've already bought these games and played them a million times, so like I don't really care as much. But like with Sony, like the PS3 sold like almost 90 million, right? Or like 90 million. The PSP sold like 80 something million, and then the PS Vita on top of that sold more than the Wii U. So I mean, like that's just a lot. That's a lot of people, So that's what I'm saying. I think that they got, and then also I think with Sony, they were closing that same year, right? So it was only like 6 months.
They gave 4 months for credit cards, so a month longer than Nintendo, and then they were going to close, I think, 3 months after that. So it was like 6 or 7 months afterwards they would close, and it seemed to catch developers off guard more than anyone.
Yeah, it caught some of the developers that were still making games off guard, and on top of that, like I said, it's just like the systems were more popular. More people still actually were active. I almost bet more people were probably active on those stores than what Nintendo had with it. I mean, that's what I would think. That's why I think the backlash was just pretty crazy. You got 3 systems that were popular, that sold a lot. Then obviously I think probably did better digital too. Probably did a lot better digital sales So that's why I think the backlash was there. Just more people.
The 3DS was more popular.
Just hack your 3DS. I got a video coming out tomorrow about it. So
Just go ahead and DM that to me.
Yeah, let me be clear. 3DS sold more than the Vita. Yes, but between the PS3, the PSP, and the Vita,
the PSP, yeah.
Yeah, that's like 200 million system sales. And like I said, the Vita did still do better than the Wii U. And the 3DS, while it did great, don't get me wrong, like I think it did great. It's still the worst selling Nintendo mainline portable of all time. Like, and it was around for forever. It was around for a decade. I think when did the 3DS come out?
2011. 2011, yeah.
2011. The Game Boy Advance smoked it in like
so it came out
way less time.
Yeah, so it came out the same time as basically the Vita, right? They were right next to each other.
Yeah, and like I said, the Game Boy Advance sold 80. It sold over it, and it sold it in way less period of time, like 4 or 5 years. It sold that. So like Nintendo's other systems were like the 3DS, the Game Boy, all did way better than the 3DS. I think people like the 3DS. I think it was good. But I don't know if it was as beloved as their other systems, considering that it was on the market for a decade plus and couldn't even reach what the Game Boy Advance did in a fraction of the time.
I'd be curious about software sales because I felt like everybody was talking about 3DS games every week. But that also,
it was like 300 some odd million pieces of software on there.
3DS software wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it definitely didn't hit where,
387 million units of software on the 3DS versus the Game Boy Advance is like 377, so it was a bit more on the 3DS, and the Game Boy was like 500. So
3DS had the advantage of having the digital, like a eShop. Game Boy Advance, everything was cartridges.
Yep.
So I mean, Game Boy Advance, there's all sorts of crazy stuff that people do with that system. I've seen you guys' videos on that.
I think it's the 3DS. I think the 3DS is the one that surprised. Like the Wii U, if they just announced just the Wii U, I'd be like, yeah, okay. I guess that I can't imagine there were more than like 100 people on that thing in like a month or so. It had to have been like none. The only thing that's a shame are there are going to be some unique experience missed here, because that's when Nintendo was like their most creative, was during that generation.
And the thing is, even if you emulate 3DS stuff, you still need a 3DS piece of hardware in order to use the 3D effects. Now, granted, a lot of people didn't like those, but still, I mean, some of the games I felt enhanced it, or some of the games were built around that. So you can't
the
do
3D Sega Ages games, for example.
Exactly. You can't get that same experience on your fucking computer.
Or I was gonna say, what's that? I'm a big fan of Super Mario 3D Land. I know people kind of hate on it, but that had puzzles where you had to turn the 3D on to look behind stuff.
So that was
great.
I love that game.
What's that going to be then? Like a 12-year life on the 3DS?
Yep.
10. Wait, hold on. How
11 years?
The Wii U? 10 or 11 years on the Wii U?
We used 2012. I think 3DS came out. It was 2011, right? When the 3DS came out?
Yeah, so 11 and 12-year cycle then for each. Okay. So is that because now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, are we getting an 11 or 12-year cycle out of the Switch, or is that going to be longer? For its store, because it seems like they want to run this thing for a while.
I think the store is going to transfer. I think they're going to use the same person. I think it's going to transfer.
Transfer to what?
Right.
Their next Switch.
Like they'll just keep using the same
Switch.
shit.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I zoned out.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't think that 3DS. Like, I agree with John. Like, I think that's rough for the 3DS, considering how many units are out there. So yeah, I agree on that.
I don't know if it's going to transfer. I don't know.
It's going to be an interesting time whenever Nintendo's ready to show what their next thing. That's going to be.
You got to look at past history to determine the future, and past history tells you that things may not transfer.
The next system has to be backwards compatible. It has to be.
Hold on.
Well,
I have no hope. I have zero hope.
The way that, when it comes to like GameCube, Wii was backwards compatible. Wii to Wii U, you could transfer stuff from Wii to Wii U. You could transfer. So they did do that, and that was backwards compatible. I think the Switch was obviously a complete break. From what Furukawa has stated, it seems like they're... Huh?
Sorry, talking to myself.
No, it's all good. From what Furukawa has stated, it seems like he says that they're just going to absorb what they're going to do with the Switch. They say, hey, we have to keep this going. It's everything that it sounds like that they want to just move from the Switch and just absorb everything that they're doing to the next system. Before the Switch to the Wii U to the Switch, backwards compatibility was pretty good. We had multiple gens. I mean, they didn't do complete backwards compatibility like Sony did, like with the first, PS1, PS2, PS3, but they always did the previous system before that. And even like with the portables, like, you have like DS, GBA or, GBA to DS, and he had DS to 3DS. Those were backwards compatible as well. So I would expect if it's successful, right? Switch is successful. I would expect them to just do backwards compatibility. That's what I would expect. But we'll see.
It'll be interesting. Okay. Evan, we have a Discord question.
I guess on the same topic, we see a ton of effort going into preservation, whether it be ROM dumping, emulating both hardware and software, as well as even reverse engineering servers to run games like Phantasy Star Online or Metal Gear Online. But what happens in the future when it's all streaming? Do we hope there will be tools developed to capture data and recreate it?
You have zero ownership when it just goes to streaming, so I don't know what to tell you. It's just like
I don't.
Here's hoping.
I don't think everything's going to be all streaming, no matter. I think that
they want it though.
Yeah,
they want it, but I don't think it will be.
I feel like technology will continue to increase. They get more control. They understand that, and I feel like they almost want it to get there. It's just I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon, but who knows? I mean, 100 years from now. Who knows?
Well, yeah, like then maybe, but like the internet companies don't want to give that up because that means you need good internet, and they throttle on purpose, they limit you on purpose, they jack your internet speeds on purpose. So until the internet companies don't want to be like that, then there's no way.
I think game companies still like it because the idea of everybody paying a subscription fee, and also they can make much more strictly enforced terms of service, because if you do anything they don't like, you can just perma-ban somebody's entire console, basically.
All bets are off now. Nintendo's in the mix, and they're usually the last one there. All bets are off for subscription services now. It's a subscription world. Maybe a streaming world's next.
I do think that's what's going to happen. From what I've heard, everybody wants that. Like companies want that. Players don't.
Stadia failed though, so that set them back some years.
Thank God.
But now you know what this means, right? Now it's going to start spreading because they're not going to keep it just to their own platform. Now they're trying to license Stadia out, and the tech's actually good. So now other companies are gonna be like, "Oh, we could use this." So Capcom's looking at it, Bungie's looking at it. Who knows? Maybe they make an under the table deal with Nintendo, and all of a sudden we get stuff streaming there. Never know. Could get out of control quick.
Screw all of that.
I mean, I'm hoping it's like way off into the future. So to the point where I've just picked up so much from my backlog that as soon as they go only available streaming, I could be like, all right, let me get the PS6 out. I'll get back to that. Or the Nintendo, I don't know, whatever they call the next system. Got another question there, Evan?
I guess outside of the hope of backwards compatibility, what new experience will the next gen Switch provide?
Oh gosh, that's the thing. Everyone's trying to think about what it could be, and I don't think any of us are going to guess it. It's going to be some weird thing.
Impossible to say what it's going to be.
It is going to be. I don't know. I mean, they can market things like higher refresh screens and like different types of rumble, or I don't know. I feel like they'll build off the idea of incorporating the controller like Sony has with the DualSense, with their own ideas around the triggers and other things, but like, what's that big hook that they come up with? Because hybrid is like out there now. They can't just be like, oh, the next one's a hybrid. They have to have Nintendo feels like they probably have to do something extra on top of that.
Foldable screen.
Better hybrid.
I mean, it'll be a better hybrid, but like, you know, Nintendo, they're like, we gotta do something even different.
Foldable screens.
I say the same thing
screen,
every
I like
generation. Every generation, I just want them to do
Dual screen
something slightly
technology.
more normal.
I like the idea of a foldable screen though, where like you close it and you
Yep.
put it in the dock or something, and you take it out, you open it up,
Yep.
and it's like, see, I like that idea. That would be pretty cool for them to mess around with that, because the foldable screen is like most of cell phones. Even then, it's kind of like, it's not very good, really. But I can see Nintendo doing some interesting stuff with that. Okay. Well, we'll come back to this podcast in like 5 years. You got another one, Evan?
Besides games, does anyone ever use their consoles to watch streaming services?
Oh yeah,
all the time.
all the time.
Xbox is so good. It's like the greatest streaming box ever.
Yep.
It really is, man. Xbox Series X, it's so good. I have an Xbox One X in my bedroom, and I have an Xbox One X in my bedroom. That's good. And then I have in my living room, I have an Xbox Series X, and it's so good for like the apps and like the Twitch, and even like the Twitch and all that runs better than like PlayStation. Like even all that's even better. Like the encryption, like if you have like a capture card plugged in, they don't ask you like, hey, you can't do this. Like, you know, Sony does that like with the whole, you guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, HDCP.
Yeah. You don't got to worry about that at all on Xbox. It's fantastic. So heck yeah.
I'll be honest, I've never watched anything. I'm actually surprised y'all do. I've never watched a single second of Twitch, YouTube. I've never installed the apps or anything on my console.
I have I usually watch my computer here, and then I have my monitor over here for my consoles. But I've used them for like especially my 360 got used a lot because they had the entire library of videos you could buy, and occasionally I would get like a season of something and watch. That was before Netflix like came about.
Didn't they just drop Crunchyroll on the Switch?
Yeah, I have that on my PC.
There you go.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll load it on the Switch.
Yeah, I got Crunchyroll on my Xbox, so I just
might have to get Sean like a free month of that so we can catch up on Dragon Ball.
Off.
It's the greatest series of all time.
Sean, I think you would like Demon Slayer. You should watch Demon Slayer.
No, I'm watching Euphoria. That's my new jam.
Okay, I heard that I saw that you're watching that on Twitter. You just like the naked people.
That's not
in
anime.
there. That's all. He just likes the naked people in there. That's it.
No, it's fucking amazing writing, and like I like the drug dealer dude because it's like part
It's you if you
part
didn't peek on the
95% of the
YouTuber,
people
yeah.
I hung out with in high school, and it's like, wow, I relate to this guy.
What?
Sorry.
I gotta watch this show.
All right.
Good shit.
All right. Yeah, hit me with one more, Evan, and then we'll look at some super chats. Then we'll go to the Capcom stuff to finish up.
Does anyone know the situation for Sifu on PC? Apparently, it is only on the Epic Game Store. Is it a timed exclusive?
I would say probably yes.
Probably, yeah.
Might be one of their
might be one of their half year or full year excuses.
Very good game though. If it
Yes.
shows up on Steam, you should pick it up, Evan.
I'll probably will. Yeah.
I recommend it. Get that
Big
controller.
John
Get the sticks ready.
Oh, yeah.
I got them. I got a couple options.
Get the
So,
sticks.
have you seen the John Wick mod? Somebody already. made
Yeah,
it.
that's actually pretty
It's
cool.
So good.
Yeah, that would be. I think that's a game you'd have fun with that on. And let me go to super chats here. Tijo says, "Why are people pretending that the digital shop closures don't affect physical copies? Blaze Blue Extend on Vita had to have its story mode as DLC to fit on the cart, and Xenoblade Chronicles X has the optional high-res downloads."
I don't think anyone's, saying that. Like when a store closes, it definitely affects physical copies.
The re-download for the free stuff is the one that I guess surprised me a little bit, but I guess they want to knock out the demos. However, you might want to go on there, I guess, just download them just in case, so you have them. So, Mobile Gaming Master Race says console PC gaming is garbage. Mobile gaming is king. Have fun playing broken $70 games plus microtransactions. Like play better games for free with a few microtransactions.
Raid Shadow
That's
Legends,
good.
baby.
Dude, I
Raid
like it.
Shadow
I like this. No, I like this new character. This is awesome. Mobile gaming. This is unique though, because usually we have Xbot or PlayStation fan or something. This is good. A mobile gaming fanboy account. I like it. Well done, Mobile Gaming Master Race. That is good stuff. I'm actually excited now. All right, cool.
That's a good.
Doomslayer says, just had surgery and I'm laid up for 2.5 weeks. Thanks to all of you for keeping me company with your content for the recovery period.
Get better.
Yeah, man, heal up.
Cloaked says Nintendo shutting down 3DS store is bad. Many games need to download a patch so that save data isn't corrupted. Pokemon XY comes to mind. The updates are still, you can still download the updates. That's something they mentioned, just so you're aware. But if they stop that, then that would become a problem, which that's still kind of this rumor from Nintendo Life right now. So just keep it in mind. Hype says, what game did you enjoy more, Horizon or Arceus? Well, I'm like 5 hours in Horizon, so I need to play more of Horizon. I liked Arceus for what it was and more for the potential of the future in that series, because the game looks pretty rough, but Horizon's been very fun for the 5 hours I've played, and it sounds like I need to go through quite a bit more before I can make that judgment.
I haven't played enough of Horizon, but I've played 70 plus hours of Arceus, and I really like the game. But I haven't played enough of Horizon. So actually, I haven't played it at all. I haven't played Horizon. Not enough. I haven't played it at all. I need to play it.
I did 25 hours of Pokemon Arceus, and I enjoyed it. But I'm almost 50 hours into Horizon, and I definitely think I enjoy all 50 hours of that more. Just by a slight margin, but I do.
This is from Daniel saying, I can't put down Dying Light 2 bugs and all. I have Forbidden West, but I want to finish the story of Dying Light before I jump into the Forbidden West.
I put it down.
I finished Dying Light 2. I
got bored of it.
I love it.
I beat it. They have different endings.
How many hours did you put in MVG? Got bored of it.
Probably about 10 to 15.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I beat Dying Light 2 in like 20 some odd hours. So you're actually getting close to the end then.
The first game is so much better. So
You
much.
know what?
Wait, why? Wait,
I'm
hold up.
actually going to agree with you on that.
The story.
Wait, I'm
the
just
story-
getting into the franchise. I just bought the first game. So why is it so much better?
The story of number 2 is pretty bad.
It's
Max,
kind of bad, yeah.
I saw Max's video, and he said like the story
Yeah.
wasn't really clicking.
My sister.
I got to agree. The story is just kind of made me feel like I'm
They
going
tried
move
to be
on.
really smart towards the end and have this big plot twist, and it was supposed to be this moment where you're like, "Whoa!" And I was just kind of like, "All right, what's next?"
Yeah,
Like,
like,
that was-
okay.
It's sometimes, but when it's good, it's really good, and then when it's
Yeah.
bad, it like makes you want to pull your hair out. So it's unfortunate. I think
It's
in
like-
like 5 years we're gonna come back and be like, "This game is really good." It just took
It's
5
like-
years to get there.
It's like Black Flag era Assassin's Creed, where like you just hold down and most of the time it works, but sometimes you just do some really weird moves.
But now you see the new Assassin's Creed, and there's like, wow, okay, the climbing's very good here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. They're going to support it for 5 years. I might actually check back in 5 years or so many years if they have big updates to see how it goes. But I beat
my
it,
girlfriend, she's
moved on.
addicted to it. My girlfriend already has over 100 hours in Dying Light 2.
Jeez.
Wow.
We play it co-op all the time.
wow.
100 hours?
I could see co-op being fun in that game. I mean, that would definitely maybe open up the game a little bit, and I could probably co-op with someone, but
It
Single
does
player
have
is
shared
kind of-
progression. That's the weirdest part. No shared progression. So we're playing
Oh,
in her
weird.
city and we're doing everything in her city. But now, even though I'm super leveled up, like it's weird.
Luna says Breath of the Wild 2 will kill Horizon 2 chance of Game of the Year if it comes out this year.
absolutely.
I don't even know what Breath of the Wild 2 looks like yet. Like in terms of like, we don't have the title for the game yet. we got to see what they're going to do with it. But I think there are going to be some really big titles that come out this year that may end up having us forget about Horizon by the end of the year. It also has that thing where it came out in February. It's like,
The same.
are we
same
going to remember
thing,
it by the end of the year at this point?
The
you
same
know?
thing happened back in 2017.
Yeah,
So
that's
like,
true.
I mean, it'll be tough. I think, like I said, Horizon's it'll be in the conversation.
We're still trying to figure out if Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out this year. We assume it is, but you
Nope.
never know.
Nope.
You never know.
We still need to see what other we know God of War is coming out.
Elden Ring
This
could
year.
be the big title. You never know. That could be the
But
highest
like, we
rated
don't know
game
what
for
the second
85 is
half. Like,
game of the year.
87.
what's the second half library for all these companies?
That's
we
true.
only know of like a few. Like,
That's true.
what's Microsoft's second half? What are they doing?
Oh,
Starfield.
they got Starfield.
They got
Yeah,
Starfield. If it does come out,
It's going to come out, but it's probably going to come out like late November, so they're going to miss the cutoff
And
anyway.
jank as hell too. It'll be
yeah,
great.
is it going to be good? That's another thing. Like,
No,
is it actually going to be
it's
good?
November. I think it's going to come out, and I think they're going to get the copy out early enough to reviewers. To
It's 11/11, right?
probably get it. Yeah, it'll get in there. I think it'll fit in there. But I think it's going to come out as these games do from Bethesda, and a lot of jank to them. So new engine though. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
New bugs.
Yeah.
New bugs.
King says Horizon Forbidden West for first 5 minutes. I encountered a game-breaking bug where I couldn't progress. $120 game and it's broken. Cool.
Hey, $120. Oh, the special edition.
No, Australian.
Oh yeah, that's the price of video games in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, $70 games translate to $120.
No,
What are
that ain't hey, bro, that's your fault. That ain't worth it, homie. You need to play something else. Wait for that price. That's your fault. You spending that much on a game, and you need to wait.
Visual says Elden Ring is multi-plat, so it won't suffer from biased review bombing. Prepare to be surprised. Everything just gets review bombed nowadays anyway. It doesn't matter.
I mean, Astral Chain got review bombed.
People
for, like,
see
no
people
reason.
having fun and they're like, none of that.
Right.
It's time to go to the user
Especially-
scores of
well,
Metacritic.
It's only with exclusives, really.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee you there's going to be the whole freaking discussion about difficulty next week. Because this
yeah, but
is the-
Horizon's going to be on PC by the end of the year.
maybe. We'll see.
Really?
Oh.
You think it's gonna be that quick?
Oh, I should have said that. No,
Oh,
maybe,
he knows something. He knows something.
maybe. It might be. We'll see. I think it's good. I think the window for Sony's gonna get shorter and shorter. Is what I'm saying. Andy says, "What's good, brothers?"
Go. Wasn't there another part to that?
It's a sausage fest. Bradley says, "Hope everyone on the cast having a good weekend. MEG, would you ever do a Vita guide on jailbreaking? If you have already, I failed to find it."
I've done them before, but they're probably out of date. I may do another one this year because it's a pretty hot topic right now. But yeah, just check out the channel. I've got jailbreaking guides on the Vita. But what I would recommend is, rather than look at YouTube videos of guides, because they usually go out of date, just go to vita.hacks.guide. That'll always have the most current, up-to-date guide, step-by-step instructions. So just go there.
David says, Gran Turismo 7 or Triangle Strategy? Which are you picking up March 4th? I'm getting both.
I'm getting both. I'll be honest. The more I see a Gran Turismo, I'm excited for it. But yeah, Triangle Strategy is going to be
getting that 25th anniversary steelbook for Gran Turismo.
Ooh,
I'm not big into sports or racing, so I don't buy any sports or racing games. So I'm just getting
25 years. Got to get the storied franchise.
I'll get Gran Turismo.
You're not getting Triangle Strategy, Sean?
No.
Oh. Okay. Swift said, Gran Turismo should be fun. It's looking good. Swift says, no message. Thanks, Swift. Satter says, why do more companies not release older games on PC? I mean, I feel like a lot of them aren't they?
Aren't they all?
Yeah. I feel like that's happening a lot, but
I'm thinking about like a lot of the remakes. I mean, most of them come to PC.
I mean, you can play Chrono Trigger on PC. You can't play it on modern consoles.
That's true. Venetz says Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time.
Nope.
Weird. Yikes.
Jake says A Link to the Past, but HD2D put this in the universe. I wouldn't mind Nintendo remaking that.
I want Chrono Trigger
and then they just call it Ocarina of Time.
Chrono Trigger HD2D.
Yeah.
Like Link to the Past. I mean, would Link to the Past HD2D be better than like whatever they did for? Because I know they did like Link's Awakening. They had like that weird kind of style that they have for Link's Awakening.
Yeah, Link's Awakening just had some weird technical issues as well. The look was cool. I don't know. It's fine. It played into like the idea of it being a dream and all this. It was fun. So, Casual says, first rule of Nintendo Switch Sports is you don't talk about Switch Sports. Second rule of Nintendo Switch Sports, don't talk about Switch Sports. I don't know what you're talking about. No one here played Switch Sports.
I watched somebody stream it and it looked fun as hell.
Nintendo, I don't think Nintendo's gonna do anything about that either. They were like, that was the biggest bluff ever.
No one wants to go first though.
Exactly.
Just in case.
Bob
was streaming and put it on Twitch.
Yeah, Bob uploaded it.
Yeah. His stream was great. I saw him. He was fencing somebody, and he knocked somebody off a platform, and he went, "Don't ever come to Brooklyn."
The thing about Nintendo is, because I've been in trouble with them before, is that they will take their time. They'll hit you whenever they feel like it. It could be 6 months from now, but
they just wait for the right time.
They'll come for you
right before a big game launches,
and they will keep bothering you as well.
They still bothering RG2?
No, actually, I've been good for a little bit now, so I think I'm in the clear.
That's good.
I think they gave up
until tomorrow. Email.
Until tomorrow.
Let's talk about Capcom here before we finish up with some of the super chats. How many Discord questions we got left? Got a couple. Okay, cool. Let's finish up with Capcom then as our last topic, because they have a countdown site up right now. 1 day, 2 hours from now,
until their next countdown.
Which, yeah, I thought about that. That'd be great. If this countdown was to a countdown to like a tune in this week. 1 day, 2 hours, which is going to be like middle of the night on Monday for some reason. 1 a.m. Eastern Monday. I don't know what that's about.
It's probably something in Tokyo or in Japan.
Yeah, easy. Japan. That means it's Street Fighter right there. The fact that it's that means it's Street Fighter. It's not anything that's going to be more geared towards.
So there was talks. I think it was Jeff Grubb. Jeff, you're still in the chat.
He's not.
You're to blame. You put this out in the world. Street Fighter 6 apparently is what's being lined up to be announced here. It wasn't the Capcom leaks, so we do know it exists.
Wow, they're making a Street Fighter 6.
Whoa, you joke about that, but how many versions of Street Fighter 5 have we had?
Well, but not as many as previous. Not as many as previous.
It's still been a lot. I feel like I keep seeing this happen.
Yeah, there's. I think there's like two or three.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no, way less. Because I remember what Street Fighter 4 had.
Just kept going.
Yeah,
7
had like 4. Yeah. Well, and then even Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 had like 6 versions.
Street Fighter 2 had so many. Yeah. They did less this time with it. Maybe that's because it was a Sony console exclusive.
Yep.
But yeah, Street Fighter. It's Street Fighter. Hopefully, they build off of what they've done, because Street Fighter 5 launched in the absolute most pathetic state.
Street Fighter 5 was pretty
That was
bad
a
when that
mess.
came
It
out.
was a
Yeah.
mess.
Ugh.
It was a mess.
Even at launch, I actually liked it. Even at launch, but
I mean,
just
it's
thought
still,
it was
it's
cool.
still. I mean, you still do half quarter circle, whatever, Shoryuken quarter. Like, it's still the Street Fighter, but the lack of characters, the
6
lack
years.
of stages, like the lack of the story mode, like the lack of lots of stuff. Especially if you compare it to Street Fighter 4, I think that's where the biggest issue came. Street Fighter 4 was so polished and so good by the time that Street Fighter. I mean, people were still playing Street Fighter 4. That's the issue. Like, and the style and the announcer. Street Fighter 4 is like, it has drip, it has like sauce. It's like so much more cool than Street Fighter 5. And I watch all of this. I love competitive Street Fighter. And it just seems like everybody got so much more hype, like with the leagues and everything with Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4, like just the energy. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, go watch Street Fighter 4 high competitive playing, like the announcer talking and everything like that. And like the art style, and then watch Street Fighter 5. It just feels like they commercialized it to the point to where it was like boring. Street Fighter 4 just has so much more spice and pep to it. So I'm just hoping that they bring some of that back with Street Fighter 6, like some of that swag, that was missing in Street Fighter 5 for a while. It's kind of got it. They've got some cool characters in there now, but it was missing it for a while. So I've been playing Street Fighter for forever, since almost day one.
You think this is going to be another Sony console exclusive one, or are they going to have it on the Xbox as well?
It's very possible. I don't know if Jeff Grubb's still here, so maybe he can shed some light on that. But I guess it said that it's going to be multi-platform. That's what the leak said again, right?
The leak said multi-plat. They had Xbox Series even in there for the leaks. So I feel like people are expecting it, but they could have also just been playing around and testing it, and then Sony could have come in and been like, nah, let's make this a PlayStation thing.
Could have.
PlayStation and PC, obviously. I feel like Sony would have no problem with it going to PC as well.
I don't see the benefit of doing that, though. It's like the benefit of having exclusive Street Fighter.
Sony invested as well in
it's all for the money. That's pretty much it.
And I get that, but man, it just seems so, considering where Street Fighter came from and the history of Street Fighter, it just seems so kind of lame to have Street Fighter restricted only on their NPC. Like, I get it, money's money, and it is what it is there, but I don't know, Street Fighter 4 having it on all the different platforms. I mean, you had it on the 3DS. You had it on it's on PS4, it's on PS5, it's on everything, it's on Xbox.
We don't think this is going to be on the Switch at all? Street Fighter 6?
No.
Like, let's say it's multi-plat, there's no deal or anything. You don't think it's on the Switch?
Unless they developed it from day one expecting to have a version
because
that
it wasn't
could
in
work.
the leak internal at Capcom, but I was like, I wonder if they had another company porting it or like working on it, and it wasn't necessarily in Capcom's database, if it would still be like possible that way. But I just noticed that a lot of people are like just accepting it's like, it's multi-plat, it's on everything, it just won't be on the Switch. It's very interesting because we've had cases where like fighting games have been pretty good on handhelds that are much weaker than the Switch to their console counterparts. So it's interesting. Capcom's been pretty good on the Switch recently.
What's funny?
I mean, even like Tekken back in the day on the PSP and then the PlayStation 3.
I did the thing where you looked at your 3DS and your Wii U history. You know what my most played 3DS game was?
Street Fighter.
Super Street Fighter 4.
Really? Interesting.
Because I got that game at launch, and me and my buddy, we stayed up for 12 hours straight playing that shit, and then we would run that shit online like all the time because we got the system on day one. So like, then you had Christmas noobs coming along and you could beat up on them.
It's all about beating up the new players. It's great.
Yeah, Sean's just there. He's like, welcome to the system.
Yeah.
I am the gatekeeper.
Do you think this is a quick launch then? Do you think the announcement launch a couple months? Like, are we just like, hey, this thing didn't announce February and it's out over the summer?
I think it's going to be very close because they've been working on this for Street Fighter 5 is so old at this point in fighting games terms, it's like, it's kind of old because it came out in 2016, I think, was it, or 2015?
2016. So it's been 6 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So
And this is going to be using the Resident Evil engine, the RE engine, right?
Oh,
no.
Interesting.
I thought they were thinking.
They have to use
I thought they were thinking Unreal.
Unreal Engine 4.
You really?
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't trust Capcom to actually rehaul everything.
RE, that'd be crazy if they put it in the RE engine.
Yeah,
I heard that rumor too. RE engine game.
I mean, you think they go with the weird? You think they go with like a weird art style and stuff too, or they just keep it basic?
I hope so. Anything but that.
4 was pretty interesting when they showed that. I was like, oh, that's kind of
a cool the water paint, kind of like the water paint.
That was fun.
It's really fun. It's like I said, it brings the extra sauce to it. Street Fighter 6 it's like dry, plain, You know what I'm saying? It's like just plain bread. I don't know. There's nothing to it. They've got to do something with this to make it. I mean, I would really want it to be the RE engine because that would be so hype for the tournaments. It would look better, you know.
For the Switch as well.
The rumor was that they wanted to put RE engine on it because all the RE engine games are selling so well, and they just want to make that like the Capcom engine. But who knows?
Yeah, and like I think about because we think about the RE engine that maybe it's not suited for a game like that. But look at like the Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
I mean, that's running that engine. I mean, clearly there is scope and scale to run kind of 2D games. But
if they're aiming for it to be cross-platform, how easy would it be if they haven't really attempted to have that work between systems? Whereas I believe Unreal claims it does already.
I mean, there's definitely challenges that they would have to figure out. I'm sure, but I don't know. I don't think you can rule out RE engine for the game.
I think how you do it, if you unveil it and there's a tournament around it, you then have you have people just come in and run a tournament with Street Fighter 6 as soon as you can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
before it's even out. You just run a tournament.
Yeah, they're probably working with all the guys, that are, like Say Jam and all those guys that are, deep in the Capcom, stuff and all that. They're probably already getting everything set up. I mean, they made so much money off Street Fighter 5 and like the people that support Street Fighter 5. I'm guessing they're getting everything set up and ready to go for the next Capcom Cup.
That's true, but also there were a lot of people that had like left Capcom or were asked, or they weren't asked to be involved in the next Street Fighter. Like Mike Ross, for example, like he was someone that was really in the fighting game community, and he is no longer involved. And Ono from Capcom obviously has left the company. So it's interesting because it seems like there's a bit of a changing of the guard with this next iteration, and I just wonder what this game's going to end up being. I mean, is it going to just be a traditional, one-on-one versus fighting game, or is it going to be, maybe like 2-on-2 or 3-on-3? I mean, the possibilities here are interesting to see where this goes.
Yeah. I mean, Ross he's an interesting character. I'll just say that right now. He's an interesting guy. For those who want to look up Mike Ross and his story, it's actually very interesting if you haven't done so. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm talking about more like the announcers, the guys that are pretty much employed by, like Tasty Steve and those guys that are like that run the Capcom Cup or that announce it. I mean, yes, guys like Ross, obviously Ono, the development team. I mean, I'm not sure about that. I don't even remember who the producer was for Street Fighter 4. They go into Street Fighter 5. They go into hiding because of all the hate sometimes. But I forgot who those guys are completely. But yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying for sure. I know no Ono there this time. It's like they hated that guy so much sometimes, man. He worked himself to to where he passed out and fainted one time. He left Capcom a while ago.
I mean, he was a good guy, but I think that whole, the little Blanca thing that he would photograph himself with everywhere, people were just getting sick of it, man.
I'm like, fix the game. Stop showing me Blanca. Blanca's not even in there at the beginning yet. You're showing this Blanca. He's not even in the damn game. Put him in, and then they eventually put Blanca in.
So are people pretty sure that that's what's happening? We don't have any other, guesses.
The other guess, and I've seen a lot of people talking about this, is Resident Evil 8 DLC. They very publicly have said, thank you for the success of Resident Evil. RE7 got a lot of DLC. It seems like they want to do the same thing. And also, I think they publicly said that they're putting a bunch of money into the DLC for Resident Evil 8 to make sure it's big and great. So if they talk about it, I hope that it's like, hey, here it is. Here's the big DLC y'all wanted.
Sure.
I didn't know they were doing DLC.
They're doing a whole bunch. Apparently, they're doing a whole bunch for Village. Yeah, apparently
they actually they did a live stream where they literally announced it, and people were super happy. I loved Village.
That was at E3. That was at E3 when they did that. That was part of their E3.
Well, it was like thank you for supporting the game. We're making DLC, and like that was it. Yeah, it was during the Capcom presentation. Someone hosted that. And it was the fucking worst presentation. It was like pointless, Yeah.
It could have been like a couple Twitter drops here and there, but no. I remember that because didn't they show like Ace Attorney for like a hot minute on there? Yeah,
like 15 minutes of gameplay.
And it's Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney's better played, not watched like that.
That's basically JPEGs with voice acting.
A bit more, but that's funny.
So I guess we'll find out Monday, like 1 a.m. Eastern time. They're just
1
gonna
a.m..
the site's gonna go live. So
What did Jeff Grubb say? Did he say anything? Did he add anything?
He said it's coming on Monday.
Did he say Street Fighter?
That's what he said. It's going to be
the other rumors. This weird thing popped up. The Resident Evil portal has been updated. They actually released all this like raw art for Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 that's never been posted publicly in HD. So some people think it may also. The other main rumor I've seen is that it's going to be a classics collection for Resident Evil, which I would be very happy about.
Okay. Could be good. Evan, you want to hit us with some Discord questions?
All right. With Cyberpunk 2077 finally leaving early AAA access, in what ways do you think AAA games are helped and harmed by avoiding the early access label while effectively being an early access?
I mean, I think a lot of them seem to be trying it because they're like, patch, we'll fix it later mentality at this point.
I think the duration of the early access is really a big factor in it because, if you have a game that's been in early access for a long time, when it gets out of early access, people are like, I've already moved on to 2 other games after that, So
yeah,
I don't know. Like I think that early access kind of label can be a blessing or a curse.
It's interesting is the sentiment around Cyberpunk's really started to turn around recently. I noticed that all of a sudden people were like, this game's great.
Yeah, everyone's mad at me.
Is it really that good?
Yeah, I mean, people seem to be like turning around completely on it compared to where we were just like, a little over a year ago, where it was like the worst thing ever created.
I looked at Jez Corden talking about it. He was saying it looks better, but it still crashes every like 10 minutes. So I was like, well, I'm still out until they figure that out.
Yeah, and they didn't really add much content either. Like I was a little disappointed in that.
That was my thing. I put up a video where I showed the fact that the graphics update is bonkers. It looks so amazing with ray tracing, but there's no new quests. And I made a video about that blew up. And a lot of people in the comments are like, you should be happy that the game works. It's like, okay.
I watched your video. I watched your video on there and I thought it was interesting. There's people that are liking it. There's people that aren't. I mean, I think the game still sucks, but that's just me. I think it's also a crime that game. I know Evan's gonna kill me on this one, but I think it's a crime that game's not in third person. Like I don't know.
I don't care that if the first person felt good, it would be awesome. But they could do third person. I wouldn't really care about it at that point.
Did you see the third person leak where the alpha version of it was third person?
Well, they also found like a command in it or something when they were hacking into it, and they found a way to just activate a third person camera that's already there or something like.
You can actually see your character, the outfits, have a cover system, not looking at a wall the whole time, and then peeping and hitting with sword. I mean, I don't know.
You got another one for us, Evan?
Atlas launched a site which is teasing something for SMT Soul Hackers. What do you think it is?
Soul Hackers.
Yes.
Probably. You think it's a sequel? New one?
Soul Hackers, Soul Hackers.
Yeah, I guess sequel or remake. So I guess sequel, yeah. All right.
I can't. They remade. It was a remake in 2012 on the 3DS. They're going to remaster a remake.
Another remake. No. It's probably a new Soul Hackers. Probably.
Oh man, they're going to remaster a remake. Oh man.
Remaster that's happened.
Yeah, I know.
I think Star Ocean did that, right?
Yeah.
Star Ocean. Yeah, it was good. No, the game was good though. No, we'll see though. We'll see. Soul Hackers is good. Soul Hackers is a good franchise. It's a good offshoot. There's many offshoots. Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers. Yeah, it's good. We'll see.
Is there a better marketing strategy to get people talking about and interested in your big update than Cyberpunk letting you receive lewd texts?
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Okay.
No, all right.
The romantic. They made it where whenever you're pursuing somebody romantically and you're doing their quests, they'll basically send you like thinking about that thick dick. It's like hell yeah.
Okay.
Do you think Nintendo was sitting on the announcement of remastered retro courses until after sales hit a certain point, or do you think they decided to do this recently?
With the Mario Kart stuff?
That's my guess. Yeah.
I don't think this is their plan all along. I cannot imagine they put Mario Kart on the Switch and they were like, this is definitely going to be a 40 million plus seller.
I also don't think when it hit the recent number, they were like, we should probably do something with the old courses. At that
it was probably
moment.
like last year. They were like, let's start drawing this out. Let's figure this out. So, that was certainly not something they were expecting, I would say, 5 years ago almost. So. Got any more, Evan?
Nah, that's it. We're good.
Okay. Sebastian asks, Intellivision Amico or Soldier Boy console?
None of the above.
Well, the Soldier Boy console was just a reskinned Alibaba console, so his was already out.
It came out though.
Yeah, his was.
Out.
And even though he can't really have his name on it, you can go buy the original anyway. So
man, it did come to market. It's hard to argue with that.
And like the hype around, like the videos around the Amico are just better. So I'm gonna take the Amico.
There you go. Hector says, for all thoughts on the Postal port coming out for Dreamcast in June. Also for MVG X Postal still in the works.
I had no idea Postal was coming out for the Dreamcast. That's kind of cool. X Postal, I'll clean it up and release it one day. I've just been really busy. I may just release the source or something. But
there you go.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. This is the company that's doing it. They actually keep mailing me games.
Oh, sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah, these people, they keep making new Dreamcast games.
Games.
They're porting Dreamcast games as well. So
nice.
That's fun.
They send me everything. They're great. I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna beat the hell out of Postal. That's awesome.
Daniel says, have any of you tried out Chrono Trigger on iOS? Is it worth trying out on there for $10?
No.
I mean, the fact that I assume iOS because you already have the phone or device that it's on. So I mean, Chrono Trigger for $10 is pretty good. That's a good game, but you have to look in to see what your controls are there, because touch screen controls on that. That's tough.
I'm not on iOS. Get it on PC. Get it on the Vita store before it shuts down. Is that shut down yet? Get it on there, or do whatever else you need to get it, but don't do it there. Buy a Super Nintendo copy, brand new. Nintendo wants.
Get on the DS if you need to be on the go with you. The DS version is very good. It's just very expensive.
Yeah, $200 for a brand new copy. I bought it for $60. Right. I was like, this is gonna go up in value.
Sounds about right. Geeky says John Cartwright's video about leakers was hilarious. It made Samus Hunter on Twitter really mad.
Who?
She was like the female version of Malding, right? That was definitely Malding on Twitter.
That was a good video by John, though. That was good.
Samus Hunter had like 50 cope tweets. Actually, I'm the best leaker. It was so good.
There was definitely some copium going on, but it's all good, man.
Oh yeah.
Matthew says, I bought a GameCube from a local retro shop here in Sacramento, opened it up, found a small cockroach living inside. Have any of you guys had an experience like that? Love the show. Keep it up. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whole bricks of them.
When I bought my
you
GameCube.
saw one? Ooh.
We've seen quite a few of those from
cockroaches, GameCubes.
Yeah.
It's a
I bought a
combination.
A PlayStation 1 once on eBay. First thing, I think it was the second or third thing I ever bought on eBay was a PlayStation 1, and it came and it was full of blood. Where somebody had
what the?
Like the weirdest things.
And the outside of the console was so clean. It looked somebody had opened it up and like cut a dog's throat in it or something.
Oh my god, that's
Did
crazy.
It scream as you cut it? Like what?
It was very gross. I was like, this is probably a crime scene.
Edge says, you all have really helped me with this podcast and your other content for 3 years now. Thanks so much to those of the cast that can't make it. Tijo says, if they put the entire 3DS Wii U libraries on Switch, wouldn't they have to put in work to remove all the hardware features present on those platforms?
Yeah. I mean, it's late, and I don't want to talk about too much, but porting 3DS games would be very, very difficult.
I would imagine.
Very difficult.
That'd be a whole thing. But if they had a foldable Switch.
If they had a foldable Switch, maybe they could bring it.
All right.
Give it to us.
We're making it. Okay. Yosemite says, baby. Nintendo, we're making games less accessible. Also, Nintendo, why are people pirating our games? What costs more, a giant legal team or servers? Well, Nintendo's not going to go after everyone. They're just going to go after the sites. The Toxic says they will port Xenoblade Chronicles X to the Switch the week after the Wii U shop closes to get people to double dip on the game. Review says all Nintendo has to do is 1, give us better online close to Xbox and PlayStation. 2, add GameCube GBA to the membership. 3, add achievements and trophies.
Simple.
Ship it.
Simple. Ship it. Robert, no messages. Thanks, Robert. V says, EJ says, tuning in while playing the redacted playtest. Big says, all consoles should have transgenerational e-stores.
That's what we're going to get going forward.
Yeah, I think you're. I mean, we'll see, but I believe that's what
so.
Nintendo's working towards with this account system. So
I think everyone's just going to do that going forward. Yeah, I think.
Jeff says, is it expensive to keep the servers up for purchasing and downloading Wii U and 3DS games? What about Virtual Console? I mean, it costs something.
Yeah, I mean,
free,
at some point they're going to be upside down on costs, right? And probably the Wii U was probably the first 12 months. Honestly.
There's stuff with payment processing as well. I know that, which is why that's gone in 3 months, because that's something they want to get resolved, I'm sure. Brian says, what if Sony used Bungie to help develop Time Splitters 4 as their online multiplayer shooter? That game was huge on its time. Yeah, I think that's Deep Silver and like Embracer Group. That's Time Splitters is like nowhere near Sony and Bungie right now, but there is a new Time Splitters game coming out, so it's gonna probably be a couple years. By the way, no one ever talks about Embracer Group. They are massive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
like they make up like 30% of gaming or something crazy.
No, I've seen your videos on it, and it's just like I hear about them, but they're like there's not stuff yet, you know.
They have 80 something games in development right now.
Yeah, so like
it's
when they
crazy.
actually start releasing stuff, then people will talk about them more. But
they own Saber, like Saber Interactive's owned by them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I think what Gearbox too. There's a bunch of like studios you wouldn't believe are under there are like part of their parent company. It's interesting stuff. Ruffle says people were still developing games for the Vita. That's why. And what's a safe way of downloading ROMs for Cemu? Nearly got a virus last attempt. That is the game you play. You just got to look around. I guess Google it and be careful because we can't exactly. I don't think it's a good idea for people to be getting sources from other people on here or anything. So
what you could do is rip your own games. There's ways to do that.
Yes, everyone rips their games.
Yeah, I'm dumb as a bag of hammers, but even I can do it.
There you go.
Hellman says Breath of the Wild was better on the Wii U. Sheikah Slate was made for the tablet. The Wii U also has folders. Wii U is better than Switch.
I can't play Breath of the Wild anywhere. The fact that I can take my Switch and play Breath of the Wild anywhere makes it better. Makes the Switch.
I saw someone on a train with their Wii U, with the tablet part, so they were playing that wherever they wanted, as long as the power outlet was somewhat nearby.
Comes the Wii U revisionist coming through. It's always better on the Wii U. Here comes the Wii U. Here comes the revisionist. The virtual console is the greatest thing. The Wii U's. Yeah, there we go. Here it comes.
Man. This is Sobo says it's been 2 years since you reported on a canceled Xbox game coming to Switch. Any new updates on it from anyone on the panel, and why is it scale bound? Well, apparently parts of Scalebound were used for the new Bayonetta, so there you go.
Yeah,
also, Platinum really wants to make that game again.
That makes sense. Now that I never put two and two together, but that totally makes sense. Because like the Demon Slave mechanic, like where you just have those big old huge demons just that are just on screen. Yeah, they totally reused that crap.
Also, real quick, you guys think Platinum's getting bought in the next 2 years?
Yes.
Probably.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think is the number one candidate to buy them next year?
Tencent.
Oh,
I am gonna say one day people are gonna wake up and be shocked that Microsoft bought Platinum.
really?
I think that is gonna shock people if that happens.
I still think it's Sony.
I can't rule that out, John. I think you might be right, actually. I mean, other than the PR stuff about, Phil and let's work together again, all that stuff. That's just PR stuff, right? That's just kind of hype.
They keep bringing up Microsoft. I noticed that they keep bringing them up, and it's like
I'm telling you, man, Tencent wants to buy them. They dumped a bunch of money into them, and they totally are. They're gonna. I don't know why they didn't buy them already. Maybe because they're waiting for more.
I just think Platinum makes the kind of games that Microsoft would be interested in having, because then they can make the action-oriented games, and it would work for what Microsoft, I'm sure, would have envisioned. And hey, maybe they want to do Scalebound. I don't know.
I think you're right, John. I think Phil's going to open up his checkbook once the Activision deal's done.
How much is Platinum really worth? They can't be that much.
$65.
Maybe they can get them on Kickstarter, Sean.
$5 billion.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say 65 million. They say $65. They're probably.
I don't know. They don't have any.
Much.
They have what's their intellectual property? Wonderful 101 and Project GG.
Yeah, that's.
Hey,
Like-
Babylon's Fall.
Terra Cresta that just came out.
Soul Cresta. Yeah.
No, Soul
Like
Cresta, I
even
should say.
Babylon's Fall isn't even theirs. That's Square's.
That's Square.
Yeah,
I think Platinum would probably want to wait a piece if they make a couple hits with their. So
Project
you wait a
GG.
bit. Yeah, Project GG. You get a few hits, then obviously your value increases. So
if that's another Babylon's Fall though, you might as well pack that up. That's they're gonna be like that deal from Microsoft Activision is pretty good. Maybe they're around still.
I just don't understand what Microsoft would like. I guess certain action games, but I don't know.
I mean, if they want to make another Vanquish or something.
Yeah, that's true. But that would include Sega.
That's true. I
have
mean,
to-
Microsoft. Hey, you know what? Phil's gonna show up and be like, "All right, Sega's ours now too." And but they might make that deal, like how Nintendo's made the deal for like Bayonetta and stuff. I could see that. It might be worth it to them.
I don't know. Vanquish sold pretty bad.
Or they make a game that's very close to Vanquish, but isn't called Vanquish.
Yeah, I mean, Sega went. Yeah, Sega went all in on and like lost all sorts of money. They made really good games, dude. Like Mad World, Vanquish, Bayonetta. Like they were
That's the
just.
thing. Microsoft might be like, let's make a new IP, make it how you want. You can even do service-based stuff if you'd like, and call it do you want. And I mean, that's what Platinum seems to want. I think they saw that deal with Activision. They were like, wow, they got paid and they're allowed to do what they want.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
But I think Tencent also got on their ear about about service-based games. There's no way.
Definitely. I think that's part of the deal.
Yeah, that's part. Like, hey, you guys need to make stuff that's gonna have income. That's gonna have. So I think that's why they're making those. Tencent definitely got on their ear. So
this is from McKay saying new to PS5, best PS4 games and best game headset. Probably the best headset, right? I mean, I would just get the first party Sony brand one that they have with 3D audio and all that. If you're gonna, to me, invest in one, that's probably the best quality, the fairest price right now. Best PS4 games though, there are a ridiculous amount of PS4 titles. Right? You get Shadow of the Colossus, which is awesome. The Uncharted. If you get the PlayStation Plus collection, like you sign up for that, there are a bunch of good PS4 games on like. Persona 5 is on there even.
Persona, no, don't play that one. Just buy Persona 5 Royal.
Or just buy that. But like if you have the PlayStation Plus, like you get the collection with like Infamous, Days Gone is on there, Uncharted is on there. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is a good one. Pick that up, obviously. It's even on sale a lot. So there's a lot of good PS4 titles. God of War, obviously, that's part of the collection. And
Order 1886.
No, I've done a couple of videos. If you want to watch, I've done 3 big top 10s that were really successful. I did best PS4 games, best co-op PS4 games, and best indie PS4 games. So watch those if you want to see 30 good games.
Ooh, Hades is great on PS5. Yes, that's a really good game. Definitely check out Hades.
Corey with a little sticker here. Thanks, Corey. And Corey again, archive.org is great for software preservation. What's everyone's thoughts on preserving 3D renders? Hard to find physical console collectibles.
I've heard about archive.org. Heard about that. Someone else has said that
Hey,
before.
if they can preserve it, go for it. 3D renders, why not? Yum says, I want to charge my next Switch. Oh, on tabletop mode. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, huh? You can't technically set it up for tabletop mode and charge it unless you have one of the stands. I don't know, maybe they could do something with that, relocate the charge port, or just like have it, because they have ones that are actually like hinged on other tablets and stuff. You can do that. Let me go around. There's still some stuff, a few questions to go over here to finish up. Let me go around. Let's start with MVG. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. You can find me at Twitter you can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and YouTube Modern Vintage Gamer. Monday's video, I'm going to be talking about the 3DS and going into some more detail about the eShop stuff and basically showing how you can back up your existing 3DS library of games. So just in case you can't read them, you can always get them back. So check out that video. Next week, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm probably going to be taking a look at Majora's Mask on the Switch Online and see how that has turned out, as well as if Nintendo's done additional improvements to the NSO. So check out the channel. Thanks for having me on.
Truly Epic says, forget N64, GameCube. What about SNES or Genesis? Oh, I gotta go Super Nintendo.
Well, Sean's not here, and he would say Genesis. So, but I would say Super NES.
Yeah, that library is just too good.
Chrono Trigger.
There you go. That's all it is. T-Joe says, I don't think I heard the physical copies being affected thing from people. Oh, with Nintendo's announcement, but I definitely heard it during Sony's. Okay. Christabel says, anyone besides Misclick going to SoCal Gaming Expo next weekend? SoCal native OJ, others. I know John Riggs and the Completionist will be there.
No,
I am not going.
I'm
OJ
not
doesn't
going
leave his
because-
house.
I thought Miss Click canceled as well.
Miss Click can't. She
Oh, there you go.
canceled.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna go. I was going to go just say hi to her there, but I was not gonna go in because they're acting weird, man. Like they didn't
Yeah.
invite me from the beginning, and on top of that, and they're acting weird. So I was like, all right.
Yeah. I'm friends with the organizers too, and I was like, "Hey, y'all want me?" And they're like, "No, thanks." I went, oh, okay.
Fist says, did RGT just fall out of the vending machine because he's looking like a snack?
Okay.
Okay. All right, then.
Yeah.
Sean's not here. Tori, no message. Thanks, Tori. Bear says, can we get a finished multiplayer FPS game, please? Not anytime
Ooh.
soon, apparently.
No,
Low key.
you cannot.
Halo's very quiet. Nothing's going on there. Battlefield's trying to get a scoreboard integrated.
Someday.
It's Call of Duty ended up being the most complete, and people don't even play that because it's Call of Duty. So it's like great.
Platoon's coming out this summer. That will be good.
There you go. Tijo says, hope you're enjoying that Euphoria anime, RGT.
It's not an anime.
You missed your compliment. Somebody give you a compliment.
Thank you.
They asked if you fell out of a vending machine.
You looking like a
Because you're
snack.
like snack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's
So
up?
pick up.
Turned around
line.
pretty quick.
I
Yeah.
I didn't know where we were going with that.
See, that's the point. Yeah. You want to tell people where they can find you, Sean?
You can find me on RGT85. We hit 420 Blaze It subscribers, 100,000, whatever. That's cool. Tomorrow there'll be a video up if I finish it. If not, I have a backup plan. But we'll see. There'll be a video regardless. Yeah.
Jeff says, oh, you can play Chrono Trigger on Apple TV with a controller. That's why they're saying iOS. Because they can play with a controller.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, go ahead, do it that
In
way.
that case, yeah, $10. Chrono Trigger is worth $10. There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Colton says, thoughts on Strangers of Paradise. I am waiting for it to come out. I would pick it up.
Chaos.
I am picking it up. Actually, what's nice is every week right now, I think a new game is coming out. I think we're in that phase right now. Next week, Elden Ring. Week after that, Gran Turismo and Triangle Strategy. What's after that? There's something coming out after that.
Babylon.
And then we have Stranger of Paradise. Then we get towards yeah. So there's a lot of stuff coming out right now. It's exciting. Then we got Kirby at the end of the month for March. Yeah,
That's the real game of the year right there.
Yeah,
for
sure.
real.
looking good.
Yes.
Can't wait for that game.
Kirby.
Tijo says, if Live Alive can be resurrected and come west, what are the chances of Bahamut Lagoon during the same? Is a really good game, and I'd love to see it revived officially. I would like to see it too. There are a lot of games, JRPGs left in Japan on the Super Famicom, so that'd be fun. OJ, where can everyone find you?
I mean, right here on YouTube. Shout outs to everybody that's been coming through. Another really good Spawncast pre-show that we had today. A lot of fun, a lot of people coming through, so thank you guys for that. Tomorrow I've got a cool event, like subscriber-thon thingy that I'm doing because we hit 500 plus members. So thank you guys for all the support. So if you guys want to come through to that, we'll be having prizes and giveaways, and we'll be picking crusty Western Switch ports to play. Games that I never play that are sealed. So like games that Sean gets paid to tell you about, like World War Z and stuff. So we'll be playing
Fun
games.
game. What's the problem? There's nothing like it on the Switch.
No, that's what we're picking.
You know, zombie shooters on the Switch. Solid game. I had a lot of fun with it. Still
That's
play
why
it.
I bought it. Look,
The
I bought
online
it.
is fun too.
Yeah, look, I bought it. I bought it right here because of your video. So we'll be playing fun games. We'll be playing games like that. You guys will be able to pick too. So you come through, subscribe, whatever, and we'll be giving away some games. We'll be doing some stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. And I do like Nintendo and RPG content like pretty much daily on the channel. So you guys can check out those videos. And I stream 6 days out of the week. So if you want to come through, Player Essence, you can do so. Thank you guys for the support, though. Seriously, it's been awesome.
Gustavo says, what is the latest on Halo Infinite multiplayer? Are you still playing it? Thanks for the great content.
No.
Occasionally. I'll play it occasionally, but it is falling off pretty bad right now.
They fell off plus ratio plus
Dude, it's they need to do something right now because it is just like I'll just jump on there by myself every other day or so, just checking things out and nothing. It's a shame. Although some of the leaks for Forge look cool, but it sounds like that's like end of the year kind of stuff. So
Oh, geez.
I'll come back when they have season 2 start up, I guess, because my battle pass has been maxed out for a minute. So Alpha says, when is sticking with an unfinished game just bad for everyone, or good to support, or just enable everyone to keep releasing broken games for 60? Yeah,
Games for 60, baby.
That is the dance right now, and it seems like it's a lot of broken games recently, or games just need updates and patches immediately. It seems obvious, like even like Horizon with the shimmering and performance. It's like, no one noticed that. No one. I don't know. It's
sometimes you got to ship. Sometimes we know this is a thing. We just got to get it out the door.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
especially that one. It was already delayed. It was supposed to come out basically launch window, and it's yeah. So small thing, I guess, considering you can still play the game and have fun with it and all that. So Luxine says sword fighting sport in Switch Sports got my arm feeling like a noodle. Fun as heck though. Hey, we can't say that around here. Can't say if it was good or bad. Might have been fun. That's what they said. It might have been fun. All right. Dyer says new bloody roar. That'd be cool. Keith says, do you find yourself giving into gacha games? I'm actually looking forward to Shining Force Heroes of Light and Darkness because I love the IP.
Oh no.
Zayd says, any of you use paddles for multiplayer shooters? I don't, because I'm waiting for that Elite V3 controller to come out. I do not want to buy an Elite V2 because I know.
What did the first two break down? The first two versions? Because I heard that they're really flaky, those sticks.
The first Elite controller I had did, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just waiting for V3. It's going to happen. And I know if I buy V2, it's going to come out. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting patiently.
They're decent. I use a PlayStation 1 with paddles, and it's cool, but I don't use it very much, to be honest.
Max, where can everyone find you?
I am youtube.com/Dreamcast guy. Big week coming up next week. We're going to be reviewing the Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. I actually beat every version of Final Fantasy VI again in anticipation of this because I have no life, but it should be a good review. And of course, Elden Ring review.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting day on the internet when those reviews drop. Jay Thomas says, seeing Spawn get stoked for Strikers made my week. I am excited for the possibilities of that game, especially the online club mode, because I think that is going to have a lot of us on the Spawncast playing some online stuff again. Because Halo,
for
unfortunately, yeah, Evan's going to dust off the Switch.
Maybe.
No, dude, you're going to hear the Strikers talk, and you're going to be like, all right, let me get it out of the closet.
It's going to be lit, man.
Evan's gonna get the pro controller set up. He's gonna
come on, Evan. Let's get those horse tranquilizers out again. Let's go.
Yeah, this feels like the same uptick for Halo, and it's gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna be all in it, and then it's just gonna feel like shit, and then it's gonna.
It just comes down to the online, the matchmaking, the clubs. If it's really fun to play online together,
so fingers crossed.
8 of us, but we're all in the same club. We could literally get in a Discord room and have 4 of us go out on one game to try to raise the rank of this club. And then the other 4 go out in another game and raise rank club. But we all still kind of talk back and forth in Discord just for fun. That would be fun.
I'm down. I've always wanted online Mario Strike. That's something that I've always wanted. Like I wanted to play that, but not the Wii one.
That is. Oh, I hope they use the newer online.
They should. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Switch Sports is using old online.
Is it?
That's what Oatmeal Dome says. But everyone that's stated that they've potentially played it or not says that it runs and it's good just fine. So, I guess they use it based off of what they need.
Yeah. Dwayne says, any chance we get Bowser's Fury alone on the eShop? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna leave that thing. We'll leave that how it is. Nova says, question for MVG. Want to mod my 3DS Wii U, but I'd prefer to keep the stock feel. Is it possible to do things like have ROM show up as regular icons, etc.? Thanks.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. Then Dyer says, new Bloody Roar for Switch. Sure, why not? Yep. Evan, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Kimmerix Project. I'll usually post stuff if I'm streaming there. Since I am hard into Lost Ark, we'll probably be playing some of that next week as well. I'm still trying to get a lot of art assets made, which I'm trying to put into streams as well. So it's been kind of fun.
Alvaro says, guys, check out the Zeem Nexus controller, which allows you to play with gyro sensors on Xbox and other platforms. Great show.
Interesting.
Thanks, Heather. Kyle says, do you all feel it's your journalistic responsibility to personally own every console from at least this gen so that you know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
First off, I don't think any of us claim to be journalists. We're just a bunch of people talk
No,
about
I'm not.
video games.
But they bring up just responsibility and integrity.
Yeah,
mean,
but then
if
you'd
you're
be
gonna
you'd
talk
be
about
playing
things.
literally everything, including stuff that people aren't talking about, to reference it for the stuff
I
they
do
are
play a
talking
lot.
about.
I do play a lot of stuff, and Max plays even more. Max plays a ridiculous amount.
I just want to have
also
everything just in case, like just
That
in case
too.
I need to, cover it or whatever. Like, cause like I like RPGs, I cover that. So like, there's gonna be good RPGs on PS5. There's gonna be good RPGs on Xbox. I want to be able to cover it for my channel. So I feel a responsibility for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if just a new release coming up, like I said, we just talked about like the next month or two, there's going to be release after release after release coming out. So it's like, even if you can jump in for 5 or 6 hours to be like, okay, the game functions, here are the hooks they're trying to do, you can at least give it impressions and stuff.
Just keep it a buck. It makes financial sense to do it. You can write it off, obviously, and you're going to make more off of your videos as well. And I've always bought, ever since I've been able to have money, I've always bought, since the 6th generation, I've always bought all systems before I even knew what the hell, before YouTube even started or anything like that. So I've always been somebody who buys all the systems. So if I have the money, which I usually do. So
yeah. I think that's everything there. Got that one. Let me double check. I got to double check Streamlabs real quick too, actually. We got everyone here. Cool. Let me stall for 1 second. Sean, when are you getting the PS5 out? Tomorrow? Play Horizon?
Maybe. I might not start it till Monday because I got a bunch of shit to do tomorrow.
There's no push for that game from me, Sean.
I mean, what's the point? I can't make a video on it. By the time I finish it, nobody's gonna give a fuck. So
You can just play it for fun.
that's what I'm gonna do. But if I'm playing it for fun, I'm not in a rush to play it.
play it at your own pace. It feels so much better to play a game at your own pace and not have to worry about like it would work or whatever,
I don't
It
know.
feels so good to do that.
I like the having to beat it and do all the side quests. I like the pressure.
Oh, me, I'm lazy as hell with that. I'll play whenever I feel like it. I'm just starting up Scarlet Nexus right now, and it's great.
Neighbor says, for anyone who's seen the Uncharted movie, what's your take? And can the Ghost of Tsushima film project break the curse of passable video game movies? Also great content, guys. Keep it up. Max saw it.
I did a review. It feels a little bit weird. That Nathan Drake being so young is really weird, but it's a competent movie. You
have a video for it, so check out your video. Your review.
Yeah.
Then we have neighbors saying, what recent news of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC? I'm sure you guys have courses you wish to see it make it back into the DLC pack, but are there any tracks you don't want to come back?
All of them.
Oh yeah, that'd be a boring track or two, generic. All of them.
Throw them in the garbage.
Don't want to come back? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if there's any Mario Kart track. I'm just like, not that one, like a water temple or something from A Link to the Past 3D. I don't know. I don't know if there's any Mario Kart track I just dislike completely. That's like implanted in my mind. I will say though, I haven't played some of those older Mario Karts in a while. So maybe if I got on and played for an hour, I would just find one to just have a vendetta again. Maybe I'll do that. Liam says, do digital 3DS and Wii U titles have DRMs that will expire? I mean, it seems like as long as you have your system and they're downloaded, they'll work. But it sounds, at least from that source, that if you lose your system or something happens to it, it's over. So I don't know. We'll see. Stud Muffin says, Saul Uncharted. I love and hate the fact that Sonic is still the best video game movie. Mm-hmm. And Studman then says, will any of you guys be attending PAX East this year? I maybe. We'll see. I think Nate's going to go. Maybe Jordan. And Studman says, as always, keep up the great work and can't wait to see you guys again at the next Too Many Games. I still need Sean to sign my copy of Balan after all.
Yeah, Stud Muffin is he's a real good dude, and he actually came and talked to me, and he was like, where is Sean?
Next one. We're getting Sean out to Too Many Games next time.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Perfect Dark says a question for the last stream about Martha's Dead topic. Do you think it's a good idea for companies who have their own launchers like Activision and Rockstar to make their games adult only on PC? There were talks about MW19, Modern Warfare, being adult only on PC for violence. I think they still just want to keep everything. I feel like they want to grace that line for mature rating because they want to sell it everywhere they can anyway. So then Mr. Apple says, hey guys, hopefully let me get 2 questions saying, is OJ here? It's a $6 donation to Nate Drake. How is it being the guy from Fortnite? Just very insightful talk from Nate just now. Very good. All right. Then we have Matt with those little sticker guys there. Cool. Then OJ. It's from Charlie Ward. What is that? Operation Darkness. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
It's
I'm gonna be
Oh.
covering this game.
Yes.
The game from Atlas. I talked about this game. It's like a Xbox 360 strategy RPG from Atlas, like exclusive. That's not backwards compatible. So it's like, and so nobody really knows about it.
Okay.
Good.
Check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a whole big video on it because it's a really cool game.
All right. I think that's everything. Thanks everyone for joining. Oh, Dewan Davis says, how are you guys doing tonight? I got a curse response. How is that game you bought yesterday? The combat that came out. Oh, that came out yesterday. The combat in Horizon Forbidden West is better. I'm gonna say that again, better than Zero Dawn by quite a bit. Specifically, the melee combat is more impactful, and you actually feel like you could just literally just tip over one of these machines whenever you want with no issues. But the skill tree really leans into just helping you, specifically with melee combat. Like the bow combat, all that shooting was never an issue. The melee needed help, and it got improved. So I would say this is significantly better in terms of combos and everything you can do with your spear and all of that. So yes, much better, much more intricate combat. So that's going to do it. Thanks everyone for joining Spawncast tonight. We'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys then.
We're like Rocky Balboa up in this bitch.